Blues fall to the Winnipeg Jets by a score of 3-1, and a win streak of 12 games is over.
All right, Joe Boo. I've been taking some heat on the internet for wearing you in warm-up in Winnipeg.
And the Blues follow up the 12-game win streak with a 2-game losing streak.
The Blues fans think I'm responsible for the losing streak because I wore your T-shirt.
And the Kraken beat the Blues in a shootout and keep the Blues season wondering how it will end.
We're going to fix that, Joe Boo, okay? We know, everyone knows, that Joe Boo's rum is sacred. So what we're going to do here today, Joe Boo, we're going to share a rum, okay?
10 seconds left. Here they are, folks. Fans in St. Louis showed up. Blues brought the season back from the brink. And you can bring out the Zamboni. They beat the Utah Hockey Club 6-1. They earn a trip to the Stanley Cup playoffs. They'll face off against the Winnipeg Jets. And the St. Louis Blues will have a chance to win the Cup this year.
Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, 204. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. The Blues get it done last night, 6-1. I don't even think it was that close, quite frankly. How was the atmosphere, boys? Jamie, you're down between the benches. Marsh, you were in section 305.
I think there is actually a section 305.
Yeah. Not at Busch Stadium, though. No. Not yet. But it had to be electric because it certainly seemed electric coming through my TV last night.
Yeah, so I'll just speak from being down at ice level, even for warm up when the Blues came out. People were buzzing. There's just an energy in the building, and then first period, you just feel it, and you can tell a lot by body language. You're watching the guys warm up, and then you're watching them get ready for the game, right before the national anthem, and I maintained what I had said earlier in the day. I said, this is going to be over before the end of the first period. And you can tell, first shift of the game, Toropchenko gets out there, hammers two different guys right in front of me, crushes them. And I was like, yeah, they're back. They're back. And then when they start scoring goals, the roof came off the damn place. It was wild. So that was, from my point of view, between the benches, it was tons of energy. On the ice, off the ice, everything encompassed in one.
It was pretty cool. I was sitting behind the Blues net, and, man, you just, look up at the entire arena. You're like, oh, my goodness, this is a playoff game. Mm-hmm. It was a playoff game. It felt like a playoff game. The anthem was awesome. Just everything that was that game was incredible. The fans showed up. I don't know if there was one seat that wasn't taken, or that was available.
Taken.
My bad.
Seats taken.
Yeah, all the seats were taken.
All the seats were taken. It was incredible, and the way that they started out was awesome, like Jamie said. And then Jimmy Snuggerud gets the breakaway, and then Braden Shin follows up. And Carey, you were spot on. He was the guy to set the tone for the team, and he did. And the Blues just took it from there. It was a fun night. And, 4-0 in the first period. You got to feel good as a Blues fan. I didn't want to jinx it by any means, so I was waiting until that final horn. But, as the first period progressed, I was like, this is incredible. This is awesome. It was a playoff game, and the Blues came through.
It was Carey Davis saying during a Super Bowl, just let it be a blowout. I'll enjoy the final quarters.
Yeah, that's what you...
Marsh, you just sat back and enjoyed the final 2 periods. So the Blues secure the number 2 wild card spot in the Western Conference with that 6-1
Minnesota.
Win. Stupid.
They didn't get the memo, right?
Stupid Bear Wildcat logo, Minnesota.
It's a terrible logo.
It's a terrible logo. It ended, though, last night did. A 2-year playoff drought for the Blues. They will face Winnipeg in the first round. Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, he's hearing that it could be Saturday for Game 1 in Winnipeg. And then next week, the Blues got a couple of, the Enterprise Center's got a couple of concerts. May need to
readjust those,
shift those on down the line.
Yeah, they got some work to do. I don't know how they're going to do it, but as it sits, there would be 2 days in between games, which is not ideal for a first round. You'd like to have it every other day. But we'll see what they can shuffle around. I know that, Winnipeg, they've moved some events around. How funny is this, by the way? I don't know. I don't believe in like there's signs, but there are some things in life that happen.
Oh, there's signs. There's signs. The road signs.
There were signs behind you last night.
Signs. Absolutely. Yeah.
True. Very true. Thank you, Marshy, for noticing. But the Blues' first playoff game is tentatively scheduled for Saturday. Do you know who is supposed to play the arena on Saturday?
I do, but maybe Carey doesn't.
I have no clue.
Nelly.
Really?
So Nelly will now be playing Friday in Winnipeg.
Wow.
He's going to get that place warmed up for other St. Louis people coming through there.
That'd be awesome.
The signs are all around us.
Last night, a couple of guys really stood out. Marsh, you talked about Braden Shen. You also mentioned Jimmy Snuggerud. What a goal, too, by him. So the Shen goal, Jamie, you're kind of breaking it down. 5-hole wide open there. If he just keeps the puck on the ice, goes between the legs, you're good. You got your first goal. Instead, it winds up being Shen's goal. But his first goal, forget about the blade and how the puck wound up. The way that you broke it down on FanDuel Sports Network, where Snuggerud was on the wall and then had his main job is to get in front of the net. He busted his ass to get in front of the net and was rewarded for it. And Bolduc could have got the goal for you.
He was right there, too.
He was right there. But I love the fact that this is a kid that's hardworking. He's got a great skill set. He doesn't score on the breakaway. The first goal isn't on the breakaway. The first goal is him working back to the front of the net, and he got rewarded for it. I love it. It's kind of poetic in some ways.
Well, it just goes to show you his hockey IQ as well, because he starts up like top of the circles where he gets the puck to keep control of it. Then he moves the puck quickly, and then he's at that point, when the puck's on the half wall, he's supposed to work his way down to the goal line and be an option. And he does. He starts working his way towards the goal line, and then as soon as the puck goes back up top, his job is to get in front of the goalie. And that's what he does. So he starts top of the circles, works his way down goal line, back up right in front of the goalie, and then the passes go back and forth, and he ends up getting his first NHL goal via rebound because he's standing right in front of the net where he should be. Mm-hmm. And like Jimmy Snuggerud is not a big guy. I think he's like my height, maybe 6 feet, 6'1". But he's probably about 170 pounds, 175 pounds. He's not built big. His frame is not big. But he's down there in the areas where he's supposed to be, and he's really strong on pucks. He's got good stick strength. Yeah, I said that.
When you're young, you usually do.
Yeah, right. Carey?
Just saying.
That's very
other ways.
Observant. Yes, there
other
sure
ways.
is, Carey.
Working hard.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Carey.
BlueChew.com gets you going in the right direction as well, if you need to.
It's fun for everyone. But great goal by Jimmy Snuggerud.
Keep talking there, Jamie. Keep going, buddy. You're killing it. Well said.
Great win, right?
Great win. Yes.
Yeah.
Carey,
no, it was
your
wonderful.
biggest thoughts from last night.
Like I said, I thought Braden Shen would be the one to start it off. He's
Jamie. He's himself.
Yeah. I thought Braden Shen would be the one, not the way that I thought it would happen. Snuggerud obviously having that opportunity. I'm sure he was like, oh my God, this is the best opportunity I've had since I've been here. And then Braden Shen, cleans up the mess. But I thought that from start to finish, that's what you talked about yesterday. And also this, and Jamie, you know this because you said it, and I know it because I've seen it. I've been a part of it. Utah was ready to go home, man. After
that was a carcass that the Blues just dragged around the ice last night.
After so much, they're like, all right, man, we ain't. Our season has been over. I just don't want to get hurt. I got vacation. I got the
next
kids.
week.
They did have everything booked.
It was booked and ready to go, and you can tell at some point when the team is out of the playoffs, they're not playing for anything. You'll get a burst for the first couple of minutes, but if you kick them in the face, punch them in the mouth, they're gonna say, all right, man, uncle, I'm done.
Yeah.
I give up. So I thought the Blues did an outstanding job. They went after him, they punched him in the face, and Utah said, okay, no mas, we're going on vacation soon.
Yeah.
Let's just get the game over with.
So you're right, Carey. And Utah actually had some pushback to him early in the game. And then the Blues, which I talked about yesterday, physical, drag them into the battle, force Utah into the battle. They did. Toropchenko, Walker, Foxa, these guys they were pissing off everybody. Bolduc's pissing off guys by hitting them late and slashing them. Utah at one point, like McBain is out on the ice, and he's like he's like, our season's done. Like, that's what he says. It's like, our season's done, idiot. And Walker just keeps yapping away. But that's forcing the other team to play your game at that point. And the Blues elevated to a playoff level intensity, and Utah was like, guys, we're good here.
Tapped out. Like you can see, like you know it though. Like I'm serious, like it, and it's a psychological thing. Like we're not playing for it. You still have pride in what you're doing, but you're like, bro. All right, I get it. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
The only reason why we're here is because the NHL scheduled this game.
That's it. To be here, we would have left last night, 2 days ago.
Yeah. So here's some audio from February 26th. Marsh dug this up. This could be anything. So here's some audio that he wanted to play. I don't know what this is.
If you all would have heard what we heard at 1:55 today in the office, what was said by someone in this room at 1:55 p.m. today, because Mike Ryder came in and said, "Well, you think the Blues are going to make some moves?" No! They're winning the Stanley Cup! That's what they're doing! Blues Stanley Cup! Did you watch that game last night? I was like, whoa! Marshy! Calm down, buddy! 1:55 today. Andrew Marsh said, Blues, no movement at the deadline. They're winning the damn cup. You can book it. He said it. And I was like, that feels like a lie.
You literally fell out of your chair.
I did. I said...
There you go.
Marshy had a vision.
Yeah. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
We learned something more about Marshy yesterday, too. I'll share it with you, Jamie. Marshy's crazy.
Oh, Marsh is really crazy.
Oh, my superstition.
He's a psycho. I'm going to send it to you. He's psycho.
Can we talk about it on the air or no?
He was on there. Go ahead, Carey. I've never heard Carey laugh
I did hear
so hard.
something about yesterday's broadcast.
I actually cut the clip. I'm going to send it to you all. But we were talking, and Marshy talked about how in 2011 when the Cardinals won their championship, he realized there was a certain spot on the couch that he had to sit at. And when he sat in this particular spot, the Cardinals won. When he didn't, the Cardinals lost. So he had the idea that he drew a picture of himself, his face, sat it on the couch along with some clothes, and sat this there to be a rep and made it a sacred spot.
Said he blessed the couch.
He blessed the couch, and the Cardinals won the World Series. He's nuts, but it worked.
That's unreal.
It was, and Anthony the entire time was like, "Oh, okay,
I get behind
he's
this."
cool. And then he said he painted a picture of his face and blessed the couch, and he was like, "Whoa!"
You could see the video where I was hanging in with Marsh until that bless the couch part, and I looked at CD to like confirm this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Some people they bless couches. Some people give a shot of rum to a T-shirt.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
It's only crazy if it works. No,
if it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's only crazy if it doesn't work.
Now, I also, I got reports, my phone was going off down at Enterprise Center during the show after I'd left. And somebody informed me that apparently Marshy ripped ass here in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. They said they almost drove off the road. They were laughing so hard.
It was bad,
I
man.
didn't get it. It was that way.
No, he was out.
It wasn't on purpose, though.
And I asked him, how old are you? Because normally when you're older, you know.
No, when you get older, it just flies out.
That's what I'm saying. It just happens. You're like, oh, oops. Hey, he's 29 years old. Why are you accidentally letting one rip in the studio? How's it an accident?
Did you laugh too hard? Did something happen?
No, it just kind of like squeaked out. It was just like,
Were you trying to squeak it out and it just picked up speed?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually kind of forgot about it until Anthony goes, what is that smell?
Yeah, I was downwind.
If anybody's going to smell it.
I was downwind.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't here, so.
I can't smell anyways.
Hey, it led to the Blues win.
Yeah, it did.
Off my back.
I don't want it again, though.
So it doesn't
Find
matter
another
that
way.
Anthony did the rest of the show with tears in
I'll
his
do
eyes.
it
Oh, yeah, it was.
16 more times. That's all we need, Anthony.
Oh, now it's going to be a superstition.
No. I don't want it.
Game day.
I'll walk right over to you and do it.
Nope.
Keep
Get
it
some
in your
candles
corner.
in here.
I got some time off. I think I need to start exercising. All right. How did we get here with the Blues? We're going to kind of break down all the madness that transpired to even get us to the Blues securing a wild card spot.
I can't believe we're even saying that.
I know. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you're looking to upgrade the look and feel of your home, then look no further. Window Nation has you covered. They are offering you great windows that have the top quality insulation and seals, and right now, they have a great offer. If you buy 4, you get 4 free. You pay no interest and no payments for 2 years. That's right, pay nothing until 2027, and you can get a free entry door when you buy a house of windows. All you need to do is reach out to them today, 866-90NATION, or visit them online at windownation.com. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty, and it can be installed in 1 day. They are a A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they have a 50-point inspection on every window before it leaves the factory, a 20-point inspection of every window when it's installed. You need to get to them today. That offer is going to end soon. Reach out to them today. You buy 4, you get 4 free. You pay no interest, no payments, nothing until 2027. And again, you get a free entry door when you buy a house of windows. Get your free no-obligation quote today. Call 866-90NATION or visit them online at windownation.com.
This is what you play for. This is what you train for in the summer, and then this is what you play for all year to have a chance at the Stanley Cup. And you just have to get in, and anything can happen. And we saw that years ago, and we've been on a good run here. And at the same time, it's just can't be happy that we're in and playing Winnipeg. Winnipeg's obviously a good team, and it's going to present a good challenge for us, but Yeah, I don't think anyone gave us a chance, really, at the end of the day where we were. And I'm glad we kept it together and too many good pieces in this locker room to not to, get in the playoffs. And we felt if we played hard for one another, we can get the job done, and just took 82 games.
That's the captain, Braden Shen, last night on the run that the Blues went on to secure a wild card spot, and they clinched things last night at Enterprise Center, 6-1 victory, and Shen got the party started with a goal off of the breakaway from Jimmy Snuggerud, and nearly got his first goal of his career. Secured one later, though, to make it 3-0 in the Blues advance. But I think it's interesting, guys, if we take a look back at how we even got here. Jamie, you had mentioned in the tease that it's crazy we're even talking about the Blues making the playoffs. So, a couple of key moments. November 23rd. Anybody remember what happened on November 23rd?
November 23rd.
Of this season, November 23rd.
Can I take a guess? I'm going to say that Jim Montgomery was hired.
No.
Drew Bannister was fired.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Drew Bannister fired on November 23rd. Not long after that, Jim Montgomery, of course, who was fired by the Boston Bruins. Thank you, Boston. Dumbasses.
Seriously.
They get Jim, they fire Jim Montgomery, and he becomes the next head coach of your Blues. On February 21st, anybody knows why that date is significant? This one's a little tougher.
Blues beat the Colorado Avalanche.
No.
Jordan Binnington wins the goal or the championship for Team Canada.
No, that was before that. That was like February
1st.
You'll never forget that moment.
February 21st.
I mean, I walked in his house and he had on spandex, so it's etched in my brain.
You're welcome.
I don't want to.
Well, let's go backwards here, right?
February 22nd is when their 12-game win streak started, I believe.
So
it would have been the game before, which is they lost to Winnipeg.
Colin Parayko got hurt.
February 21st, the Blues were 8 points out of a playoff spot. 8 points out of a playoff spot.
The 26th, as we remember, is when they beat the Kraken.
Like a drum.
So that was the third or fourth game out of the break.
Yeah.
This game's fun, Anthony.
I can look up some more.
Is it?
I hate dates.
I mean, not.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Let's move on.
Go ahead. No.
A late season surge. They were 19-4-3 in their final 26 games. They propelled them into the postseason.
What?
They were 19-4-3 in their final 26 games. It helped propel the Blues.
Why did you put your hands on your
Because I'm serious now.
And become reporter man.
I'm being serious.
And just read the stats.
I was having fun.
Reporter
but
man.
You two ruined it.
That wants to be Superman over there.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's got the Superman pose, but he doesn't look much like Superman when he poses that way.
You're right. I look like the Winter Soldier. I appreciate that, Jamie. Thank you. Andre Montgomery, they finished with a 35-18-7 record after he took over. 642 point percentage, 8th best in the NHL during that stretch. So this is just some of the things, but I think you highlighted another thing, which was the Four Nations tournament.
Yeah.
And it's not just Jordan Binnington and how he played. It was the fact that Robert Thomas was passed over.
Well, he was injured too.
He was. No, I'm not saying there weren't reasons for it, but I do think that him being kind of snubbed or, again, just at best passed over, it led to Robert Thomas really picking up his game. And yeah, he got healthy, and that's probably the main thing. But I think that Four Nations tournament really turned the tide for this team.
Yeah, you know why? For a lot of reasons. But I've said this before. It gave Jim Montgomery and the coaching staff and the players a chance to have their little mini training camp. Because when Monty took over, November 23rd, Drew Bannister's fired. You don't have a whole lot of runway to have a training camp. And that whole month, by the way, at the end of that month and then December, let's not forget, I was only home for 6 days in December.
Yeah, they had a brutal December road schedule. You're right.
Where are you getting your practice time, your video time? You're scrambling because you're breaking down the past game, trying to pre-scout the next game. There's really no time to start to try and improve your team or change anything. Mm-hmm. So the Four Nations was great for Colton Parayko, Jordan Binnington. Guys got healthy. All of those things are all true. But it also gave Jim Montgomery and his staff, he's not alone, he has a great staff that's with him as well, gave them time to kind of tweak some things. And let's not forget that Jim Montgomery talked about making the penalty kill coach break down the power play and the power play coach break down the penalty kill, exchange information and change things. And if you look at the power play and the penalty kill since that moment, they're really good. Really good. Like the power play is like 22, 23%, something like that. And the penalty kill, I forget where it's at during that span, but it went way up. So that helped as well. So there's lots of little things that have all been put together that make this something that's happened. But I just think the break and the reorganizing or shuffling the deck the way the Blues coaches wanted was a big factor in this.
I think it's been, I think just, we talked about it, so much when that Four Nations break happened. When they came back, they just looked like a team on fire. And Marshy, I think, was the one that posed the question about Bennington. If he does great, does that propel him to be even more, even on a better plane when he returns? And if he performs poorly, how do they rebound from that? So Bennington playing as great as he did in the Four Nations, and then them coming back and just playing, being healthy, guys playing well, it just was outstanding. And to be able to overcome some of the adversity, right? Overcome the injury to Colton Parayko, overcome the injury as of late to Dylan Holloway. I think they've done a great job. And I was listening to BK and Ferrario when I was coming in, and they were talking about Braden Shen and how at the trade deadline there were rumors and talks of him possibly being moved, and he said, no, I want to stay here. I want to finish. I know he said that the getting Cam Fowler was a shift in what they were able to do. It made a big difference, and he just felt like that there was a team, even though in the position they were in at that time, he just felt like they were a team that could make a run, and he was not wrong. He's done a great job. They've done a great job. He's been, in my opinion, and I said it yesterday, what the captain is supposed to be, right? Punching people in the face when need be, scoring the first goal when need be, really leading this team and pulling them when they may not be in a great position or feeling great. I thought he's done a great job, and you got to take your hat off to Jim Montgomery as well, because we talked about the Bruins firing him, and we talked about it last week. How are they doing?
Not well, Carey.
Not great.
Not great. And what, they finished dead last?
Fifth
They had a great day.
NHL.
So
how'd he do? Finished dead last. No, he had a good day.
Right. So hats off to him. I mean, you get fired from one place, you get hired immediately after that, and you take over a team that has gotten 2 coaches fired, and for whatever reason not firing on all cylinders, and able to get that group with essentially the same players that just had 2 coaches removed, to get them to say, okay, we're not playing well enough. What do we need to do? We need to lock in. We need to listen. We need to play the style of hockey that he's asking us to do, and you see the results of it.
I think you could go back even further, too, of course, the offseason moves of Dylan Holloway and Broberg coming in. That jump-started things.
When you talk about a roster, let's go back again, bringing in Radek Faksa. Like at the time, you're like, okay, I don't really know. This is just going to be another Kevin Hayes.
Right.
That's what people thought. He's a third, fourth-line center, not blessed with a lot of speed. Little did Blues fans know, or me for that matter, what an absolute pain in the ass he is to play against. Like, watch when he skates around. I don't even think he knows how to hit, honestly. No, it's funny. He just runs into people, like total disregard for his own body. Because most guys, you load up and you explode through the hit, like you tackling in football, you explode through the hit. Yep. He just skates as fast as he can and lets his body weight hit people. I'm like,
he's bumper cars.
He pretty much is, and he blocks shots. He gets so that was a good addition too, because can you imagine that fourth line now without him?
No.
You can't, right?
He started the game last night.
He was unbelievable. The Broberg, Holloway, Fowler, and then, I hate to say it, but then having the coconuts to basically tell Brandon Saad, you're out of here, waive him, and tell him he's going to go to the minors.
Yeah.
And so they end up not even buying him out. They get him to just rip up his contract. I don't know what army had on him, but whatever it is, it worked.
Followed the Kirk Cousins model of negotiations.
It may have. But so Brandon Saad leaves. Now you have room for Bolduc. It's like all these little things, these subtle changes that happen. It's what you end up with.
It all came together, that's for sure. The Cardinals up 4-1 right now, top of the 9th. Ryan Helsley is in to close the game out. We will talk to Brad Thompson coming up immediately following the game. So let's sneak in a quick what's trending next on 101 ESPN. Green Envy Lawn Cares. That's Green Envy is the absolute best lawn care company that I've ever seen or worked with. I know that there's a lot of national companies that come in and they'll spray for weeds and all that stuff, but it's really not the same. I mean, they a lot of those companies use products that you can find, on your shelf there at the hardware stores. But when it comes to Green Envy, they only use products that are designed to work with Missouri soil. And why that's important, of course, is that it actually works. It's not going to kill off certain spots just trying to kill the weeds, or it's going to be completely effective. When it comes to Green Envy, they deploy a special crabgrass preventer that's a trade secret of theirs. Service professionals are all commercially licensed applicators. They're certified by the Missouri Department of Agriculture. This ensures that you have trained professionals on your property at all times. They leave little tips in between when they come out and they spray or they service, so that you know what you need to do when it comes to watering your lawn or maintaining your lawn in between. But their program has no hidden fees, no contract. If there's a really bad storm that passes through and they need to come out and respray after just coming out, they'll do so at no extra cost. It's just part of their program. Green Envy's the best. 636-655-3689. GreenEnvyLawns.com is where you can find them online. But jump on the program. Trust me on this one. My lawn looks fantastic. Yours will too. It's Green Envy.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues have clinched a playoff spot with a win over the Utah Hockey Club last night. The Blues will take on the Winnipeg Jets in round one of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll continue talking about your St. Louis Blues throughout the remainder of the show. The Cardinals are looking to put away the Houston Astros. They are up 4-1 in the top of the ninth with 2 outs. We'll continue updating you on that game. We'll also talk with Brad Thompson following the Cardinals and Houston Astros game. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, it appears that the glow puck is back. Jamie, your thoughts?
Oh, man. So,
I'm the only one?
As a part of the broadcast,
I don't hate it like everybody else does.
but as a part of the broadcast, I get a different feed. So I've got 2 monitors down between the bench. One is an ISO, so the producer can put anything, like as far as video clips, in that monitor while the game's going to show me. Hey, I grabbed this, cue it up. We kind of talk about it. The other one is a program monitor where all replays go through there. So that's when the replay comes up. I know when it's on. I can talk about it, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Well, so we don't have the feed that people are watching at home. I don't get the, TV feed, whatever you want to call it. And my phone starts blowing up like crazy. And people are texting me, they're messaging me on Twitter, on Facebook. Tell FanDuel to stop. Like, first of all, like I have any power to tell FanDuel Sports Network to stop doing the lines on the ice. The puck.
You now are FanDuel Sports Network, Jamie.
And
all of it.
But I did talk to somebody at one point. I was like, hey, like everybody hates this thing. Like, what's going on? And they did stop using it in the third period, but it's where the puck tracker, the line goes behind the puck, but then when they have the player tracker too, it has the players in a diamond or a triangle and things, and then the puck is going, and it looks like somebody's scribbling on your TV.
Too much?
That's when it was too much. I don't mind when they put the player name up top there.
No, that's fine. I don't think people have a problem with that. I think they don't like the lines all over the place.
I could see that. It didn't get distracting until, like you said, then the puck's flying all over the place, and then you just go like somebody scribbled. I thought Lincoln scribbled all over the screen.
All right,
yeah.
Who's got the Etch-a-Sketch?
He was in bed for 2 hours, but I was starting to blame him.
So I don't know what the future broadcast will look like. I can't imagine that they're going to roll this out in big waves because I think there was a lot of pushback. They haven't asked me, oddly enough. They never asked me about it. But just so you people know who are listening, I do agree with you. And I did say something. Don't know if it worked, but we'll find out.
I didn't think so. When you have it, like the puck tracker is fine. It's not the fire color that it used. Like that was crazy. That was wild. Like,
that was the fire
orange.
puck.
The fire puck was weird. Now it's just a black line, kind of keeping you up to date as to where the puck is going. Now you can see it, but it just defines it a little bit more. The tracker with the defensive players and now that gets a little get cross-eyed.
Think about the power play that Utah had.
Hell am I looking at
in the second period? They moved. They made 5 passes or 6 passes, like bing, 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 bing. And then I came back and looked at it, and it looked like somebody was like drawing quick. Like I was like, oh gosh, now I see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Guys, we're waiting for one more team to clinch a spot in the NHL playoffs. It is now between the Montreal Canadiens and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Other than that, the matchups are pretty much set. What is your favorite first-round matchup? Is it the battle?
Blues and Jets.
Besides the Blues and Jets.
Anthony.
Is it the battle Besides the Blues and Jets.
Are there other games going on?
There are other
not to me,
games.
not to me.
I didn't see. I just know Blues and Jets.
Gonna snap.
Go ahead, Marsh.
Is it the Battle of Florida, the Battle of Ontario, the Battle of Mikko Rantanen?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
is it the Kings and Oilers who will play in the first round for the 100th time?
Jamie just whispered to me and said it's actually the Blues and Jets.
You knew that was going to happen.
That's Carey's too, but I like the way you did that. You learned that from me.
I did. Hey,
Well played. Well
pay
played.
attention.
Well, I think that the Battle of Florida is going to be interesting because those two teams hate each other, and Matthew Tkachuk looks like he'll be back for Game 1. So you're going to have Brad Marchand, Matthew Tkachuk, and Sam Bennett, I believe, back for Game 1. That's a whole lot of, I don't know what you'd call it, running around, being a rat, chirping, chippy play, all that stuff on one line. So that's going to make it very interesting. Now, the flip side of that, you've got Brady Tkachuk, who is going to play in his very first playoff series ever in the NHL against Craig Berube's Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, that's the one I'm interested in because Ottawa, like you just said, like the Senators have waited a long time. Ottawa's waited a long time for the Senators to get
8 years,
back to the playoffs. And
I mean,
it's
they're no
against
Buffalo,
Toronto. Right. It's against Toronto with all the expectations being sky high there each and every year. So I think Toronto-Ottawa is most interesting in the Eastern Conference. And then the Western Conference, I would probably say the Jets and the Blues.
That's a good one to pick.
Besides that, Dallas, Colorado's interesting.
The Mikko Rantanen Cup is good too because Rantanen, for our listeners who maybe aren't aware, he played for the Colorado Avalanche for a long time, his whole career up until this year, and then he got traded to Carolina. So Colorado traded him out of the conference, which is what teams usually do. Get him away from us, out of the division, out of the conference.
And he's back.
And Carolina said, hold my beer. We're trading him right back to the Dallas Stars. So now Mikko Rantanen's got to go into hostile territory in Colorado because he'll be the enemy now. And then, it's going to be weird.
He wanted to be there, though, right?
He wanted to be in Colorado, but he's still the enemy.
Right.
It's playoff time.
Boo this man.
They don't cheer for him to start the game?
No tribute video.
Dallas and when Luka came back, they cheered for him. They actually cheered for him the whole night and said fire Nico.
But it wasn't a playoff game.
It wasn't, but they wanted to fire the GM.
It wasn't even a play-in game, Carey. I mean, I know those
that
are
was
so
a great game last night. Jamie, I'm glad you brought it up.
Brad Thompson will join us next. Cardinals 4-1 winners over the Astros, so they take the series. We'll talk to BT about this series and everything Redbirds next on 101 ESPN. Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries this basketball playoffs with their extender promo. With the extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boost each round of the playoffs. So each round, you can earn more and more money with the tokens. So it's really easy. Apply those boost tokens on pick'em entries easily in the Underdog app, and then you can use those tokens, which need to be used to access higher value boosts. But it's great to play Underdog Fantasy. It's simple, too. So whether you're playing NBA playoffs or MLB, NHL, if you want to combine your picks, you can. Underdog gives you the ability to do that. It's not just, here's one game, you can only pick players from this game. Nope, you can match, one game to, one NBA game to an NHL game to an MLB game, pick players from all different sports to go higher or lower on their stats. So in basketball, we're talking about points, assists, rebounds. Baseball, you can use hits or strikeouts. Hockey's got all kinds of different stuff too, whether it's goals or assists. Underdog is really fun to play, and you can play for as low as $1 and win up to 1,000 times your money. Again, all at Underdog Fantasy. So download the Underdog app. Sign up using my promo code Anthony. It's just my first name. Type in my name, Anthony. And then you're going to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, that promo code is Anthony at Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hey, BT here for Diamonds Direct. I am sitting here at Busch Stadium staring at a diamond, but realizing I better get into Diamonds Direct because, look, things are coming in quick. Mother's Day is right around the corner. Graduation gifts are always a big thing over at Diamonds Direct. Whatever the occasion is, they have got you covered over at Diamonds Direct. So if you are thinking about popping the question, there is no better place to go. The selection over at Diamonds Direct is like shopping 30 different jewelry stores all at once. If you've been in there, you already know. I mean, it is so different. And what I love the most about Diamonds Direct are the people. These are diamond experts. You don't feel like you're getting upsold on everything. They make you feel comfortable. You walk in, they bring you a drink, and just let you walk around. It really is a great environment over at Diamonds Direct. They also do free cleanings, lifetime upgrades. I'm telling you, once you shop over at Diamonds Direct, you will not go anywhere else. So whatever it is, shopping for a ring, a gift, you're just browsing, they're going to help you out over at Diamonds Direct. Check them out online. Go to diamondsdirect.com and get into the showroom at all of the 270 at City Place. It's Diamonds Direct.
We're hanging with Brad Thompson on 101 ESPN.
Hanging breaking ball from Brad Thompson. And boy, does he get a swing on it. Lift and separate and see you later.
Hanging with BT is sponsored by St. Luke's, ranked top 2% in the nation for cardiac surgery by Health Grades. Visit stlukes-stl.com.
Cardinals big winners today over the Houston Astros, 4-1. Joining us right now to talk all things Cardinals is our resident 2006 World Series champion and our great buddy Brad Thompson, who's still live at Busch Stadium right now following the game. Brad joins us via the Collier and Thompson phone line. BT, how are you?
Gentlemen, I am doing great. How are you guys doing?
Well, great after that win, certainly. What did you think of Steven Matt's first start?
Man, Steven Matz went out there, and he did exactly what we saw him do all spring training long, and what we've seen him do out of the pen. He was great, man. He a couple of pitches in the first inning, over 20 pitches, but after the first two batters, he retired 15 guys in a row. I mean, that's exactly what you were hoping for out of Steven Matz, to go out there, give you a chance to win, and that's exactly what he did. He went 5 strong, didn't walk anybody, struck out 5. So the Cardinals are rolling a 6-man rotation here for at least the next couple of weeks. And we'll figure out how exactly they're going to shift things in the pen, how that's going to work, who fills that role of maybe a quote-unquote long guy. But right now, I like the options they have. You look at the last 9 starts, Anthony, that the Cardinals have had for their starting rotation.
Outstanding.
A 1.86 ERA. Ooh. 1.86 since that Sonny Gray start against Paul Skeens. These dudes have been rolling.
That's a Brad Thompson minor league type ERA, my friends.
It's a little inflated, but other than that, no, it is good. By the way, I meant to lead with this, and talking about Steven Matz and the Cardinals is great. Jamie, congratulations to you, to the Blues. Dude, unbelievable run this year. It's been a blast, listening to you and watching you on the broadcast. What a run, dude. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thanks, man. It certainly is kicking off crazy vibes from 2019. It's kicking off vibes with the Cardinals when they won their 17-game heater. A lot of fun in those moments, BT, so I appreciate it, man.
Dude. Oh, it's been great, and I appreciate your Joe Boo rum. Sometimes you just got to drink with the man to be the man, and it ended up working out perfectly.
Yeah, thank goodness, because otherwise I think I might have been kicked out of St. Louis. It was getting pretty ugly for a bit.
It's funny. My Joe Boo drinks bourbon. Weird.
BT, I thought about it. But then I'm like, you know what? You've already screwed up enough. Don't do it again.
Don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
with the juju. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Hey, BT, to get back to the Cardinals real quick, the 6-man rotation, we obviously know that that's probably not a permanent thing. You're a former pitcher. I can't imagine pitchers love a 6-man rotation. But, you know, what happens if everybody keeps kind of shoving like this? Because Steven Matz, I really liked his performance today. I thought it was good. And other guys, Eric Fetty had a good game, even though it fell short. But still, he had a good game as well. Like, what do you see? How do you see this playing out?
Yeah, and you know how this works. I don't care what the sport is, what the position is. These things tend to figure themselves out. But, like, your perfect scenario is that everybody pitches well and you have a really tough decision to make because you're not going to run a 6-man rotation throughout the rest of the year. So the hope is that in a couple of weeks, the Cardinals maybe have a tough decision. Maybe they got to send Matz back to the pen, or maybe it ends up being somebody else. But I like the idea of doing it now, of building in that rest, because I mean, look around baseball the last couple of years. This is the time, this is the part of the season where a lot of guys end up getting hurt because they're ramping up their workloads a little bit early in the season and don't have that built-in rest. So the Cardinals are able to build in some of that. They've got some good options right now that are throwing the ball well. So I'm with you, man. I love the way that Steven threw the ball. I am very happy, though, especially what we've seen as of late out of Matthew Liberatore, that the Cardinals did take that, I don't even want to call it a chance, did make that decision to put him in the rotation at the beginning of the season and shift Matz, because you got to find out about your young guys, and they found out some pretty good things about Matthew Liberatore.
BT, talk to me about Brendan Donovan. He's a guy, I said yesterday, we've all been around like superior athletes, guys that you like, yeah, that's the guy. If you were picking a guy, you'd pick another guy. But looking at Brendan Donovan, he doesn't stand out in that regard, but he is leading the league in hits. He is top 3 in batting average. What makes him as good as he is, and how exciting is it to watch him every single day?
Man, it's very exciting, and very few guys fall into this category, Carey, at least throughout my career, of the guy that you want up in a big spot, that you just trust no matter where you put him on the field, and then you'd also trust him to watch your kids. Like, I feel like that's exactly what Donovan is. I feel like I could drop off Dylan and Lexi at the Donovan household. All right, Johnny, we're going. You got him. Like, he's just such a great dude. He's so responsible. He's such a good leader. He's a diligent worker. He checks every single box that you would want as a player if you're a manager, or as a teammate if you're, one of the 26 on there. And he works really hard on not only like the physical aspect of it, but the mental aspect, the preparation of being able to take a day, whether it's a good day, a bad day, and pack it away and get ready for the next one. Like, he just does all those little things so well. And if you're a teammate of a guy like that, you want to emulate some of those things, and you want to be able to pick his brain and see how he prepares and what helps him. So I've been so excited watching him getting to different pitches. Doesn't matter what it is. When we've seen him in this series, you try to sneak a fastball in, quick hands. He's going to rip it down the right field line. Change up away, no big deal. I'll wait back and I'll flick it the other direction. He's seeing everything right now. He takes pitches, and he's just a student of the game, man. And top to bottom in this lineup, and Donovan obviously a huge part of it with all of the rankings around Major League Baseball that you threw out, Carey, but top to bottom, this team's taking good at-bats. Like, it is a stark difference offensively from the last couple of years.
BT, to your point, I once had a college coach ask me would I allow one of the kids he was recruiting to watch my kids. I said, oh, hell no, not that kid. He can't watch.
He can't watch himself.
No way. Oh, I wasn't going to lie to him.
That's just honest. I'm talking about the kids.
Yeah, oh, hell no.
Brad Thompson joining us right now.
I trust him from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
Brad Thompson joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. BT, we had this conversation yesterday. 4 runs today, but 4 runs certainly good enough today. But that's kind of under what the average total has been for the Cardinals this season. Offensively, is this legit? Can we buy into this offense with the numbers, the statistics? They're top 5, if not number 1 in damn near every important offensive category. Is this sustainable? Are they legit?
Well, I don't see anything right now, guys, as we're watching it, that looks flukish. It's not like one guy's carrying the offense or even like a small piece of it, the top 3 carrying the offense. It really has been top to bottom, and it appears to be sustainable. And we've spoke volumes all season about the approach that this team has, and certainly Brant Brown, Cardinals' new hitting coach, has a lot to do with that. And Ollie loves talking about how he just has these guys as prepared as he's ever seen them on an individual basis, too. It's not just a blanket, hey, this guy can do this. This is what you guys can all do. Like, it's in the room pointing at, hey, Contreras, this is what he's going to try to do to you. Wilson, what are you going to do to try to combat it? And really just holding each other accountable. So I really do believe it is going to be sustainable. Will they be top 5 offense all season long? I don't know. But I don't think that we're going to see those long offensive lulls that we saw in the past, because they're not reliant on the home run. They work counts. They take pitches. They make the life really tough for the opposing pitcher. And I think that's part of their MO. Like, they're playing a team style of baseball offensively, and that appears to be sustainable.
BT, a lot made last year about the defensive speed bumps, we'll call it, for Jordan Walker. The guy I'm watching so far this year doesn't look the same. What did he do in the offseason, and what's he doing on a daily basis? Because the young man made a couple of unbelievable plays last night, and he just seems to be getting better.
Do you guys remember the old Adam Sandler skit where he's playing in the outfield?
Oh, it's a big lefty.
He's like, oh, yeah, no better. Don't let him hit it to me. Please don't let him hit it to me. Like, I feel like some of those thoughts might have been in Jordan Walker's head a year ago. Like, seriously, like, You're trying to figure it out at the big league level. He switched positions a couple of years ago. Like, you're trying to figure it out offensively and defensively and dealing with the media and every little bit of being a big leaguer, and it's hard to do. Well, Jordan Walker doesn't have any sense of that right now. He is confident. He's put in the work. He's gotten the reps. And I love first of all, the work ethic that he's put into it. He's dug in. He wants to get better and better. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder from the take on his defense. And look, the overall numbers on his defense. He was not a good defender a year ago. He's making all the plays. He's getting good reads. And credit to the coaching staff again. John Jay, what an addition John has been to this coaching staff. He is holding these guys accountable day in and day out. Like, they are out there working. Yesterday, coming into the ballpark, and this is like right when the clubhouse opens to the media, Jordan Walker's coming in from the dugout, and he's drenched in soaking wet sweat. I go, dude, you out there putting in the work? He said, JJ's got me running. Like, they were out there just working, and you're just seeing that work pay off. And you guys know, man, like, if you're not going to put in the work, beforehand, and in baseball, you don't have practices. You have time before games to get ready. Then you're not going to get better and better. And he's diligent about it. He wants to be better, and he has been great out there. So I think that the biggest key right now for Jordan Walker, he's confident. And when you have some success at this level, it's a lot easier to have that feel.
Throw him the funny one, Robert. Love that skit. BT, great stuff as always, man. Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
Absolutely, guys. Can't wait to catch up again. Jamie, Blues, congratulations. Can't wait to watch this deep run into the postseason.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man.
All right, see you guys.
See you, buddy. That's Brad Thompson, 2006 World Series champion, our buddy here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. He does great work for FanDuel Sports Network. Cardinals beat the Astros today 4-1. Jamie had a thought about the Blues last night a thought about the Cardinals in relation to the Blues victory. We'll tell you what that is next on 101 ESPN. I love driving the new Nissan Pathfinder from Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. The third row on the Nissan Pathfinder fits our family perfect, especially with the kids in multiple sports. I was packing up the vehicle, the Pathfinder, over the weekend for soccer and volleyball and baseball and football, and I just love how much space it has. But I got it from Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Forget about overpaying out there. They have vehicles that are priced to move, and when I say they have vehicles, they have a ton of vehicles. They've got over 800 new and used vehicles, so you can look for a pre-owned Pathfinder like we did, or brand new Pathfinder. Maybe it's an Altima, a Rogue, whatever you're looking for, whatever you're searching for, they've got it at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They got it all in one location too. With new Nissans, you get a complimentary lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise. So you talk about serious peace of mind when it comes to dealerships and what they give you. But if your credit is in the tank, or maybe you don't know where your credit is, you're worried about your credit, no problem. They're credit experts at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They can help you in any credit situation. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. When you head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. Big inventory, bigger savings, zero nonsense. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. So, Jamie, you had a thought about the Cardinals in relation to the Blues' victory last night and, of course, their ultimate success. Thought maybe it might add a little pressure to the old Redbirds.
Yeah, so this went through my head. I don't know if it was last night or this morning. I don't know. Can't remember. Everything's a blur sometimes, Anthony. But I thought to myself, like, what a moment for the Blues. They only missed 2 years of playoffs, and the 1 year they missed, they liquidated. O'Reilly gone, Tarasenko gone, Barbashev, like all the guys that, were on that 2019, not all, but a lot of the guys. So then the following year, they had some spare parts. The Kapanen, Verana, Hayes, you're like, what do we got here? And then this year, Army does the offer sheets, picks up Radek Faksa, Cam Fowler. They go on this run. Now they're in the playoffs. Now, let's go back. When Army liquidated, he told the fan base, here's what we're doing. We're not rebuilding, we're retooling. And everybody thought, wow, rebuild, retool. What's the difference, Army? You're just making a fancy word. He wasn't. And so now here we are 2 years later, and the Blues are in the playoffs. And they're a team that nobody really wants to play. And they went on a 12-game heater. So I shift to the Cardinals, the other stadium downtown, and they've missed the playoffs for 2 years in a row. Now, they thought the Cardinals or the Blues would probably miss for the playoffs for 3 years in a row.
We're safe.
They didn't. So now the expectations, have they shifted for the Cardinals? Like, they're playing pretty good baseball. Like, they're playing .500 baseball right now. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, is there more pressure on the Cardinals now to have success because of what the Blues have done? Because the Cardinals had bad communication, bad messaging, whatever you want to call it, all of it. They didn't do a good job. I think they'd tell you themselves right now if they're standing in the room that, yeah, we probably could have said that better, worded it better.
Yeah.
Whereas Army was crystal clear of what he was going to do, and then he did it.
I think that last part, CD, is the most important. Is there more pressure on the Cardinals to make the playoffs because the Blues did? Not really, but it's what you said about the packaging, about the message. The Blues have done such a great job of saying, here's our game plan, and this is what we intend to do, and they executed it. Where the Cardinals, you almost feel like they're winging it.
Really?
That's what it feels like. Maybe they're not, but you know what? It feels that way. So when they miss the playoffs, you're like, like if the Blues lost last night, God forbid they lose last night, and Calgary winds
so we
up.
can talk about it. It's fine.
Right. Calgary winds up winning the last wildcard spot. We'd be ticked off. We'd be disappointed. But eventually, you look at it and say, man, we're on the rise, though.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always feel that way with the Cardinals, where we're like, oh, they're going to be better off, or not better off, but this stinks, but they're going to be better in the long run.
They're headed in the right direction.
Yeah. So I think that is just as important that the Cardinals accomplish this year.
I don't know if it puts pressure on. I think the Cardinals are on their own timeline. I don't think they probably pay attention, but not as much. Attention. Not as much in terms of
one of the owners
what they're doing.
With the Blues alumni. He's well aware what's
paying
going
attention,
on.
but they're not in terms of making what the Blues do. You know, have an emphasis on what the Cardinals do. I assume that they're doing their own thing. I think that the Cardinals are in a good position right now, right? I think that they are. So far, I mean, they're 500. They're not great. They're not terrible. Kind of like a Miles Michaelis start.
Oh, boy.
Right? Kind of.
I think they've been better. I think they've been better than a Miles Michaelis. It hasn't been terrible.
Not terrible.
I think the Cardinals have been good.
They've been fun to watch.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely.
They've been good to watch. They're still 500. They still got work to do. But I don't think that there's a pressure. I think the Cardinals are headed in the right direction. And this is the first time I can say that in 2 years. Like, I don't think 2 years ago I was like, oh, this team is terrible. And they're going to be terrible. Last year, it wasn't fun to watch. Now it's fun. You actually feel like they have an opportunity or have a chance to win games. Whereas the last couple of years, you knew that if they won a game, you were surprised. Now, I think if they lose a game, you're like, how'd that happen? Like, not scoring any runs last night. You're like, wow. Why'd that happen? What happened last night? What took place to not allow you to score any runs? Because you're expecting them to score 4, 5, 6, 7 runs, and I think that that's a good thing. So I don't know if it puts pressure on the Cardinals. I do think the difference between the Cardinals and the Blues is the messaging, like how you get that message out, how you deliver said message. I think Army from start to finish has been open, has been honest, has been upfront with every decision, whether it's not trading at the trade deadline, whether 2 years ago it was, as you said, moving on from all of those guys. This is where we are. I don't think the Cardinals have done that, but I do think that they're getting better in that regard.
So here's where I think the Cardinals lose in this discussion is Doug Armstrong. The messaging was clear from the beginning of what he wanted to accomplish. The retool, the youth movement, all this stuff together combined. But then what Army does that the Cardinals have failed to do in an extended period of time, Army gets bold. The 2 offer sheets, straight out of nowhere, boom, 2 offer sheets on 2 great young players. the Cardinals aren't doing those type. I'm not saying they can offer sheet. It's not the same. It's not apples to apples. But the Cardinals aren't showing, hey, we're a good 500 young team here, got some things, but we're going to get aggressive. Boom. And we're going to go do something that is unexpected. And then Army, not only does he do that, then he goes out and gets Cam Fowler.
Yeah.
Like, for no reason at the time. It felt like, what's he doing this for? Like, well, you get another 30-year-old defenseman. Like, what are you doing this for? But it's the bold moves. Army's not afraid to make a move to try something to shift it.
Yeah, it's the creative moves, right? We always talk about that with Mo. Oh, the DeWitts, they probably don't give Mo the amount of runway in terms of money that, other Pobos, GMs have. Okay, but let's be creative with what you have, and we haven't really seen that as of recent. I also think the Cardinals have higher expectations than the Blues, at least from the fans. There's more expectations. It's a longer tenured history here in St. Louis, and with all the winning pedigree, like, fans want championships. Not that fans of the Blues, and they're obviously we're all mixed and whatnot. Not that they don't have those expectations for the Blues, but I think it's higher with the Cardinals.
So let me ask you guys a question, because we got this on the text line from 314. It's versatile property construction. No free ads, by the way, but that's what these listed under. It says, "Come on, Jamie. Baseball and hockey are completely different, buddy." So I just said it's not apples to apples. He did the buddy. He didn't even do the LOL at the end. But here's my problem with that, though, is Army had to go get really creative with these offer sheets and a trade and doing things like that. The Cardinals actually, I think, have it easier because they get to draft 100 players a year. And then, well, not anymore, but they used to. But then they can dip their toes in the international market. Like, that's where you make your, like, you want to get bold.
Right.
It doesn't have to be the $50 million free agent, but maybe it's a, maybe it's a young player somewhere else where you make a trade or you get bold with international site. Like, there's ways to do it. There has to be ways to do it because some other teams are doing it.
I don't even think the bold move has to come from outside of your organization. A bold move this year would have been putting Michael McGreevy in the starting rotation and sending Miles Michaelis,
Doug
away.
Armstrong waved Brandon Saad.
There you go. So to me, that's a bold move. I think the bold moves, when we think of that, we think, they got to go out and sign a player, or they got to get a young player that's extremely talented. I think the bold move is doing something like that. They've been bold in the sense of now and I don't know if it's bold. It's almost like it just had to happen with the younger players finally getting their opportunities. And surprise, surprise, when people play a lot and they get reps consistently, Anthony, you actually do okay.
You get better.
Who the hell would ever think that?
You.
I did think that, actually.
You see that a lot.
I did actually think that would
I'm
work.
I'm going to give you some credit. You, Carey.
Do the same thing with the pitching staff. And maybe now is not the time because they are performing well. BT said they are 1.83 ERA since in these last 9 games, I think he said, which is really good. So maybe now is not the time. But if they wanted to be bold, if Mo wanted to be bold, it's not necessarily being bold and spending a bunch of money because it's not allowed, it appears. Being bold is, hey, I'm going to go with this young guy. I'm sorry that this happened to you, but this is what we have to do.
It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Does Jimmy Snuggerud and Dalibor Dvorsky carry the same hype as Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Snap it to the near side. Snuggerud leaves it. Buchnevich straight away. Fowler to Thomas. Thomas through to Buchnevich. Buchnevich for the deflection. They shoot. They score! Jimmy Snuggerud. His first as a Blue. 3-0 St. Louis. It's a power play goal. And the biggest NHL game of his young career. He scores his first NHL goal. Smile away, kid. Smile away.
Chris Kerber on the call last night. Blues Radio Network right here on 101 ESPN. So teach me how to snuggie. Jamie.
Yeah.
Teach me how to snuggie.
Teach me how to snuggie. Teach me how to snuggie.
People loved it. People went crazy for it last night on the FanDuel Sports
that one
Network.
too.
You got it. So Snuggie scored his first goal. Had a really good game last night, buzzing around. Looked to fit well in that second line. Jamie?
I absolutely love what Jimmy Snuggerud has brought to the Blues. Are there still some growing pains? Of course there is. Of course there is. But the first game I watched him play, he's not the prettiest skater. Like, he's not like Dylan Holloway or Zach Bolduc, where when they skate down the ice, like, man, that guy sure is a pretty skater. Sure is pretty. But he gets from A to B fast. His puck skills are incredible. Watch him pass the puck. I talked about this. Passing the puck's a big thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pass the puck tape to tape. And what Jimmy Snuggerud does is he passes the puck tape to tape. But what most young players don't realize right away that Jimmy Snuggerud has is to move the puck quickly. On your stick, off your stick. On your stick, off your stick. Most of the time you get it because you have more time in the minors, you have more time in junior, more time in college. So players tend to hang on to the puck, and then they become turnover machines. Mm-hmm. Because they're like, well, where'd that guy come from? How come he got to me so fast? Well, because it's the NHL, and that's his job. Jimmy Snuggerud, it's on his stick, it's off his stick. He's very smart with the puck. And then all of his offensive abilities, like he's thinking quickly. The power play, he's doing a really good job. Been very, very pleased with. He's got 4 points in 7 games, guys. I did not see that coming. I didn't. I thought Dvorsky would be further along because of his time in the minors. Not to say that he isn't where Jimmy Snuggerud is, but he's center ice position, which is a little bit more difficult. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens ultimately there. But Jimmy Snuggerud has been fantastic.
Do you think there's any comparisons to, you just brought up Dalibor, Dvorsky, Snuggerud and Dvorsky and Walker and Gorman?
So I go back to more like Walker and Wynn. Mason Wynn and Jordan Walker. I guess if you go back, Mason Wynn, not that he kind of came out of nowhere, but he wasn't as hyped as Gorman or Walker. When you go back to 3-4 years ago, whatever it was. I would say, yeah, because everybody talking about, Jordan Walker being one of the highest prospects since like Albert Pujols and things like that. And I'm not saying Jimmy Snuggerud is going to be compared to some Blues Hall of Famer or any Hall of Famer for that matter. But what have we heard about for the last couple of years when the Blues have stubbed their toe? We've talked about and heard about, well, just wait till Snuggerud and Dvorsky are here. Jimmy Snuggerud is one of the best college players. Dalibor Dvorsky is playing the World Junior Championship. And so based upon that, I think the expectations, Carey, are that it's just like Walker and Gorman. Mm-hmm. Like you expect them to be difference makers.
I think I think what they have, given them the opportunities right now, giving Snuggerud the opportunities, giving Bolduc the opportunities, I think you're able to. You're just speeding up the process of what this team is going to be. And right now you're in the playoffs. You don't want to look past that. Obviously, you want to focus in on the Winnipeg Jets and take care of that business. But if you're a Blues fan, you should be extremely excited. Watching Jimmy Snuggerud play, watching Zach Bolduc play, watching Dalibor Dvorsky when he gets his opportunities, watching him play, like you should be foaming at the mouth because this is a team full of young players, also along with veteran players they're playing together. And I was going to send you all a text, a you up text, another text with you all. Yes.
Cardinals are going to send you that text tonight.
It's coming tonight.
I'm not answering. But it was Draymond Green talking about being selfless and something he saw from one of his teammates. We might talk about it tomorrow. But watching Jimmy Snuggerud score that goal, I didn't look at his face. I looked at all the other players' faces that were there. They were so happy for him. Like, that to me is what sports is. Like, when you have a really good team, you have people that are celebrating each other's wins. It's not always about me making a big play. It's not about me getting the credit. It's about us getting the credit. And whoever gets the damn credit, we win, right? And I think that that's where this Blues team is. I think that that's what Jim Montgomery brought in when he came. I think that Braden Shin has been the face of that mindset and has been for the past couple of years. And they're finally, once February hit, they were like, oh, crap, maybe if we do it this way. And I'm sure Jim Montgomery was like, yeah, you think idiots? Like, I think if you listen.
I don't think he called them idiots.
I'm sure he did.
I don't know.
You want to ask him?
We can.
To himself.
We can.
Hey, have you ever said, idiots, just do what I ask you to do? Jim, Monty is pretty honest with us. You've never called a player an idiot to yourself?
Oh, plenty of them.
There you go.
See? But I wasn't the head coach.
It didn't matter.
You're the GM.
I was just a GM.
Might be worse.
I was just a teammate. Way different.
But yeah, you finally get guys to buy in, and they're all playing that selfless game. They're playing for one another, and you got young guys that are capitalizing off of that. I think it's pretty awesome.
Bacon wrapped wiener says, CD was going to send the exact same text Jamie sent right before. Referencing yesterday where Carey put the same article in our group chat.
It's okay, Carey.
I haven't paid attention to you guys.
But you know what, Carey, you bring up a good point because what's funny is when Jimmy Snuggerud scored, I think Zach Bolduc was happier than Jimmy Snuggerud.
Yeah, Robert Thomas was like,
Robert Thomas lost his mind.
They were all so excited because you know what the moment is for a young player, obviously scoring his first goal. You know what the moment means for your team that is trying to finish this Utah, I was going to say football club, hockey club. I've got football commanders in my brain.
It's all right.
Washington football team.
I call Winnipeg, Milwaukee.
You did. The Mets.
Yep.
Finishing off this hockey club. And you know what that moment means, and you're present in it. And I think that's, for me, that's what sports is about. It's awesome.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Part one of our Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Send in those questions, and we'll answer them next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues have punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs. They beat the Utah Hockey Club last night. We will talk with Blues head coach Jim Montgomery at 4 o'clock. That means we are pushing the gauntlet back to 4:15. No worries. We'll talk with the Blues head coach at 4 o'clock. Also, Dalibor Dvorsky, we were just talking about him in our last segment. He has been assigned to the Thunderbirds in the AHL. The Cardinals defeated the Houston Astros today, 4-1. We talked with Brad Thompson going over that game and this series as the Cards take 2 of 3 against the Astros. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do the Sports Six-Pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. If you have any questions for us for the Sports Six-Pack, you can text them in to 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. Take it away, Marsh.
Question number 1.
Carey, you have your hand up.
Oh, no, that was me.
Stretching.
You're just stretching?
Yeah.
Be careful, Carey.
Joints get old.
Yeah.
When you put your hand up, you know.
Yeah.
People will call on
Teacher calls upon you.
Yep.
All right, to the 217. The Blues finish the year with 4 more points, 1 more win, and 1 more regulation win than last year. Why should we feel very much better about this team than last year?
Did you not watch the games?
You don't watch the game.
You can't tell me that it looked the same as last year. Down the stretch, the Blues not just stubbed their toe, they fumbled the ball all over the place. And this year they put together a historic winning streak, and you have great young players. You don't have pieces of older players that are just occupying roster spots. This is a way different team.
Yeah. Stalter on the fumble.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. That was last year.
I don't think that was called.
I mean,
didn't do anything.
It was pertinent to the conversation, but it was kind of cold.
We're not even talking football.
Well, I
he
did
said
say
fumble.
fumble. Yeah, I did.
Which was confusing because I was thinking football as well. And he was talking hockey.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. No, it doesn't.
Marsh, if you came here to hurt me today, you did.
It doesn't look the same at all. Jake Neighbors has another 20-plus goal season. Robert Thomas dominating. I mean, Robert Thomas, his pace for offense this year is 81 points in 70 games. So if you were to put that in an 82-game schedule, he'd probably have 100 points this year, which makes him pretty dominant. So although the points and the wins and all that stuff, the numbers can be deceiving, this team is headed in a much different direction.
Anthony, I'm sorry.
Question number 2.
That you feel that way.
No, I'm sorry.
He wasn't going to do it.
He will. He will. I did it to him last night. There's a text message.
Yeah. He blamed me for Robert Thomas missing the rest of the game.
Said all because you had to be there. Hope you enjoyed.
I did laugh.
And then he told me to go fast lane myself, and I said, I'm sorry. And then I waited about 30 minutes, and then I texted that you feel that way.
All right, question number 2 from the Water Boy. Is our outfield officially set? Have we found our 4 guys? Where is your confidence level with these guys so far?
I think the outfield is set, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when you've got Newbar, the speed and Scott in center field and Walker, you're good to go. The question becomes when Mason Wynn is healthy, what do you do with Thomas Sajaci? He's hitting very well.
I'd probably keep him on the bench.
Is there a spot for him? Because he's still a young enough guy. You don't want to
handed bat off the bench.
I don't know if I want to bury him.
And I would send Siani down. Sorry.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have any space for him to play every day right now.
Yeah.
You got to get Nolan Gorman at bats. You got to get Burleson at bats. Siani is the only one that you don't necessarily have to get at bats for.
True.
And so for me, I would probably and I know that they like to do the late inning substitution and take Jordan Walker out and put Siani at center and move Victor Scott over to right field. But Jordan Walker has proven so far that he probably is fine staying in that role and staying in that position. If you need a right-handed bat off of the bench, you probably should go with Thomas Ajayci.
Yeah.
As opposed to having, those three guys and having Siani here.
Well, I don't like that he's putting this into the atmosphere. Bacon wrapped wiener is correct.
But what are you doing?
It's too late.
What do you mean? What am I doing? There's Win already got hurt. Gorman already got hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
You don't finish it.
Let's be honest. You know who it is. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, no, not him.
Question number 3.
Who's going to bat leadoff?
Oh, wow.
Jamie.
He said it. He did it.
I didn't say anything.
You did.
Wow.
Who knows what team I'm talking about?
The leadoff hitter is already hurt. The shortstop.
Wow.
Schwarber.
From the 636, now that the Battlehawks have faced a good opponent, do we think that they are a good team or just a middle-of-the-pack team? Kind of like the Steelers.
Wow. Oh, wow. Ricochet.
What did Pittsburgh ever do to you?
I think the Battlehawks I think the Battlehawks are a good team that has flaws and a lot of question marks. Especially now at the quarterback position when it comes to your passing game.
See,
the amount of heat that DC put on Manny Wilkins, I think it kind of changed some things.
For me, that wasn't necessarily. Now, Manny threw some interceptions, and he threw one that me and Marsh both talked about on Monday. That was not a good look. It was a bad pick over the middle of the field. But there was so much protection issues, in my opinion, up front for Manny Wilkins. It felt like every time he dropped back, there was someone there. And there was a couple of times, as I said, the running back didn't pick up the guy, offensive line not going to the right people. Mm-hmm. That puts a quarterback under pressure the entire game.
Sure.
And kind of changes if I can create happy feet for the opposing quarterback in the pocket, I'm probably going to win that game, because now instead of looking downfield, I'm looking at the rush. I'm worried about who's going to hit me in the face next, as opposed to looking for which man is going to be open downfield. And my timing is off. He missed a post route to the number 2 receiver that was in the third quarter, I believe. If he's not getting chased around the entire day, maybe he's on time and on target with that. So, looking at those things, I'm not as much worried. And even with all of those things, throwing 3 interceptions, not performing well offensively, unable to run the ball, they still had a chance to win that game. They still had a chance to take the lead in that game. So I don't think it's time. I don't think it's a moment to panic and say, oh, we got to change things around. No, it's one game. It's a loss. That team was undefeated as well. So you'll get a chance to see him again if you do everything right.
Well, I'm going to ask Coach today when we talk to him about his quarterback position.
Oh, have at it.
Because it didn't, he had a mobile quarterback, which is what he wanted, but I don't think he has a quarterback that can take the top off the defense.
It's hard to do that. Well, no, he threw one. He threw a touchdown. He threw one touchdown.
How far down the field?
It was 30, 40-yard touchdown on a fade route.
You're confident in his abilities to put the ball downfield?
I am.
Then I want you to ask Carson today why he didn't do that more.
If I ask Carson daily?
Carson Becht.
Carson Becht.
Carson Becht?
Anthony Becht.
Anthony Becht. Isn't that his kid? His kid's Carson Becht.
Rocco.
Rocco Carson Becht.
He was the former Georgia quarterback. Now in Miami. You also have a daughter named Carson. It could have been anybody.
I was like,
it really could have been
Carson
anybody.
Daly. I'm like, I don't know. I got that.
I was going to let it go, but
check, please.
You had a long, fun night last night,
Yeah. That you feel that way, Anthony.
Everybody serious for a second.
Yes, Marshy.
But I want you to ask Anthony Becht.
There you go.
That's right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Carson.
Today, why he didn't do it more then.
All right, we'll ask. We can ask.
Who is Carson Becht?
I couldn't. Like, why did that get in? Like, why did it?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was
okay. There's a lot of things that go through my head.
Carson Becht is a quarterback, so
just not the head coach of the.
No,
St. Louis Battlehawks.
No, he's not. Yep. Different spelling on Becht, too.
Yeah.
One's Becht, one's Beck. All right, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Keep those questions coming in. Part 2 of this Sports X-Pack is next.
the question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service Sax Line. Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here is Andrew Marsh.
Question number 4.
From the 314, with him being a St. Louis native, do you think the Blues would ever be interested in acquiring Clayton Keller? And if so, who do we have to give up?
He's by far their best player. He's the number one player. It'd be, I don't know.
A lot.
Yeah, like, especially Utah, now that they have proper ownership with Ryan Smith, who is a great owner, willing to spend the money, build this club up. He's building the community in Salt Lake around the team. Like, he's doing an unbelievable job. Clayton Keller's the face of the franchise. One, I don't think he's available. In fact, I know he's not available. Two, you can't trade for him because what you'd have to give up would deplete you.
Yeah.
Because that's what they'd want in return. Like, they'd probably want Robert Thomas and somebody else.
Yeah, no.
So
it's not going to happen.
We could wait till free agency. You know, he's, I don't know where he's at on his current deal as far as how far into it he is, but he's only 26 years old, so he's going to get another kick at it here soon. Clayton Keller, yeah, he will be unrestricted free agent in the summer of 28, 29. That's the end of 27, 28. So that's 3 years away. 4, I guess, if you look at 3 more contract years. I would just wait it out and then go for it then.
There you have it.
Question number 5.
Bring him home.
You mentioned Robert Thomas. The 636 wants to know if we have any update on Robert the Thomas's injury, and do you think it's any concern?
Well, anytime a player leaves the game, it's always a concern. Now, what level of concern? Jim Montgomery says he doesn't see it being an issue. It was precautionary. Have coaches ever, maybe fibbed a little bit, or maybe misguided? It's possible. I don't think it's misdirect. Yeah. I don't think it's a big deal. It's certainly not like a Dylan Holloway or anything like that. Robert was on the bench. He was bending his leg, and he went out, twirled around a little bit, and they decided we're up 5-1. There's no need to risk it.
You know what I thought about in that moment? The one thing that hockey doesn't have that all the other sports have, like you can, I guess you can to a degree, but in football, you can take out your starting quarterback when you're up by 30 or 40. You can take out offensive linemen. You got enough bodies to replace some. You take out your starting DN, he's older. But hockey, those guys got to keep rolling through.
No, you can do it. As coaches do that. They'll take their top line sometimes and sit them, and then just roll 3 lines and play the hell out of the 4th line.
Okay. But it's not as... Well, okay.
Yeah, because what's the average time for the 4th line per game?
Like 10, 11 minutes, maybe. 9 to 11 minutes.
You can bump that up.
Up those guys' minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you've seen that. We've actually seen it a couple times this year. It's just not noticeable because it's not like the forwards are being punished.
Right.
Because you're usually ahead by 3-4 goals.
I only say that because Carey got his second goal and it was late, and I was a little upset about it. I mean, I was happy he scored.
You're happy for me.
Carey didn't want him playing.
For you.
Carey wanted to bench Kyrie.
I wanted him to be on the bench and rest.
Wow.
And rest. And get ready for this Winnipeg Jets. Instead of being on the ice.
Me getting the hat trick and 20 points added to my score.
That's not a rule.
I think it's a good rule.
Even though
Jamie put it in the bylaws.
No, it's not a dumbass rule.
It's a dumbass rule.
Look at the Blues have what did we just say? They have 3 hat tricks this year?
Yeah, only 3.
The whole team.
Nah.
You would have.
Well, we don't need your vote. We have 3.
Marcia, do you vote for
democracy?
Sounds like a dictatorship.
What?
Whoa.
What'd you call him?
That's 1. That's when 1 rules. No, Jamie.
Why you point at me?
Because Jamie has the bylaws. He wrote it in there.
He has bylaws because we all agreed to it.
You're the president
of the game.
Well, when the hell did you get voted in? A dictatorship again.
We made up the game.
Voted him in.
Where the hell was I?
Well, you were probably late that day.
Yep.
But I was here that day.
Look, it didn't happen, so we don't have to go further in this. Just know that
Marshall, your vote, please.
What am I voting for?
Oh, he's not even listening.
If a player gets a hat trick,
20
20 points.
Wow.
We had 3 all year.
Are
so
we
think of
doing
the
that?
odds.
Are we really doing this?
Okay, so let's go 10 points then. Let's go 10 points.
Don't hate it.
See?
It's a hat trick.
What? How the hell do we make this rule? Can it start
Here's the
next
thing.
season?
No.
What's
it's
fun
just
in
like
what
the
fun is that? We won't remember
Once
it.
we voted in, we can work. We can make it work.
I don't love the idea of implementing a rule this late in the season.
Thank you,
I'm with
Marcy.
Carey on that.
Yep.
However, we did do that with the home run game last year.
And we did do that when we added goalie goals.
We did do that when we added goalie goals. So I'm all for it.
All right, there it is. And implemented. Thank you all for attending the meeting.
That's ridiculous.
Carry the complaint box is over there.
Oh, I'm
If you'd
going to fill
file
it up.
If you'd like to file a complaint, you know where you
where it
go.
is.
Nobody ever
Just
opens.
just go right up the hallway there, make a left, and then an immediate left.
Right to the bathroom.
Or to the bathrooms. Put that complaint right in the urinal.
Yep.
Go ahead, Marshy.
Question number 6.
From the 314, does the NHL profit share like Major League Baseball?
Well, yes, but it's with the players. So it's that hockey-related revenues. And if the owners, this is where it drives me crazy. I still twitch about this because the lockout of 04, like we gave them a salary cap and I shouldn't say we, they never asked me. The players gave a salary cap and an escrow. So that if the owners don't make money, they use our money to break even. Holy hell. What the hell would Ted Saskin, hard to believe he only lasted like 3 months as director of the NHLPA. Surprised he's still around. Anyways, yeah, they share revenues with the players, which is why the salary cap goes up. When the revenues come in, the owners are forced to spend more money on the players. And the escrow, I will say this, the escrow was not used this year. It was they stopped taking it out because revenues were growing so good that the owners did not require it.
Good. All right. Good. Excellent.
Yes.
Let's talk to Jim Montgomery next, head coach of the Blues, following the big victory last night over Utah. We'll talk to the coach about his thoughts on last night's game, and maybe we'll dive into Winnipeg with him. Jim Montgomery next on 101 ESPN.
Talk with the head coach of your St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery. Coach Monty is presented by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Let's head right to the Collier and Thompson phone lines, where our guy Jim Montgomery, head coach of your St. Louis Blues, on the line right now. Coach, congratulations on last night's victory and for clinching a playoff berth. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful today. Couldn't be any better.
Do you think the guy in Nashville will know who you are now? Have we gotten over the hump?
Yeah, I don't know. But I love how you guys have the memory of an elephant. Keep bringing it up on the poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, you told that story so well. So, no, Coach, again, congratulations. As you look back, I know it's kind of tough, but as you look back, was there a turning point moment for you where you felt as though that everything started to click and you're like, okay, we're firing on all cylinders now?
Yeah, it happened pretty quick. I would say, after being back 5 games, and we were in the position to win our first time 3 games in a row, and we overcame that, and I think we won 5 in a row. Then we lost 1, and then we won 12 in a row. Like that moment where it was like, okay, like for our whole group, like, this is how we need to play. We play like this, we're hard to beat. And I think the confidence level took off.
Monty, a lot of people have made, the Four Nations break the marker for you guys, and justifiably so, because the team came out playing not a different brand of hockey, but it seemed a lot more connected. What was it during the break that you guys did? Anything different? Because that was really the only opportunity you had to have, I guess, like a little mini training camp, because of when you came in was mid-season.
Well, I do think the break allowed people to get away from the everyday grind of being frustrated, because at the moment we weren't having success, and it just, it wasn't fun to be at the rink for the last, I would say, 14 days before that break, and I think everybody had the opportunity, management, coaches, and players all alike, equipment managers, trainers, because, everyone cares and wants to be successful. But then we came back with the right attitudes, and then we did have a hard 3 days before we played our first game. And what we also did is, instead of having as many days off, we didn't skate any more often than we were doing, because there's a rest to work ratio that works when you're going to be playing as many games as we did in such a short amount of time. But we started coming to the rink and meeting. We started coming to the rink before we go on the plane and just being around each other. And maybe we just had lunch together. And I think it formed a lot more of a cohesive unit and a culture of communicating, because we forced ourselves to be around each other more often. And then I think, success breeds confidence and breeds consistency. And I do think that came out of everything that had changed, the attitudes, being around each other more. And then, all of a sudden you started hearing players using words like, we're together, we're like-minded, we're one-minded, we're sacrificing, we're playing selfless. It doesn't matter who gets the credit. It's about the team. And when you start hearing things like that over and over again, and you see us fighting for each other on the ice, something special's happening.
Coach, you all go into that game last night. I'm sure you feel the energy in the building. You feel the energy from your players. You and your coaching staff probably have all of that energy as well. At what point did you finally take a sigh of relief? Was it at the end of the game when the final buzzer went off, or was it at some point in the second, third period where you said, okay, we're good?
Yeah, I mean, you're in a good situation when you're up 4-0 after 1. But you don't really start taking a breath until we killed off that third penalty in the second period. And it's like, okay, we're still in control of this game. They got their 3 penalties. We had 3 in the first. At the end of the second, I was pretty confident that we were going to prevail and we were going to have a better third than we did second. And so that's when I was confident.
Monty, you've done an incredible job. Your staff and you, of course, have done an incredible job with the young players on your team this season. And I'm going to go right down the line to Jimmy Snuggerud, who's only played 7 games. But, have you always been a coach that gives opportunity to the younger players, whether it's college, first-year kid or whatever? Because most coaches, you know this, Monty, most coaches don't put the kind of trust that you have into the young players. And when they make a mistake, they're back on the bench or back in the press box. You've kind of let them run without shackles on here, and I think the team is reaping the benefits of that.
Well, I appreciate the sentiments, but they're good hockey players. It's that simple. When you're a coach, and coaches coach to win, they want to win. And when players come in, it doesn't matter if they're Cam Fowler and 33, or if they're Snuggerud and they're 20 years old, or they're Bolduc and they're 21. They're good hockey players. They compete. They want to learn. They want to get better. They make the team better. You just put them on the ice. You don't hurt the team because of age. And that's what I believe, is there's some hard decisions that go into that. Sometimes you have to sit a veteran out, in place of a young player, because he's just at a moment in his career where he's going to help the team more. There's a lot of hard decisions that go into that, because when the new guy comes in, someone goes out. But you always got to do what you think is best for the team. And if a young player is ready to play, I remember when Pujols, became the third baseman for the Cardinals because there was an injury, and he had this incredible spring training. And it's like, well, we're going to keep him around. Then all of a sudden, he starts hitting 400 in the first 3 weeks of the season. It's like you find a place for him.
I would say so. Jim Montgomery joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. What is it about Jimmy Snuggerud's game that has allowed him to have success in such a short period of time since coming from the NCAA?
Well, I think, one, he has a considerable amount of talent. But the two traits that he has that have allowed him is hockey sense. He knows what he's going to do with the puck before he gets it. He has the ability to move the puck and jump in the holes and get open. He's had scoring chances every game, and his shot is a difference maker. And then you combine that with competitiveness. He's fearless. He takes hits to make plays. Does he have a lot to learn? Yeah, he has a lot to learn still. But when you have a player that has great instincts and competes, he's always going to be able to work through. And because of those traits, he's going to be able to adapt and learn and grow quickly into the areas that he has to learn.
All right, Coach. Last one I've got for you here is, kind of take us behind the curtain a little bit. And I'm not talking strategies and systems and things like that, but you got the playoffs starting here soon. You know who your opponent is, the Winnipeg Jets. It's a hell of a hockey team. What goes on from last night when the final buzzer goes until the team takes the ice in Winnipeg for morning skate? How much goes on between now and then?
Well, for us coaches, a lot goes on. Like we met this morning, and we meet about how we need to attack the Jets, and I divvy up what coaches are responsible for what areas: the offensive game plan, the defensive game plan, the special team game plan. And mostly today it's pouring over video in those areas. And tomorrow morning we'll do the defensive game plan in the morning, give it to the players in video, talk about playoff mentality to the players, talk about the opportunity in front of us, and how exciting it is and how we have to earn every foot of ice. It's playoff hockey. It's hard, but it's the most enjoyable time of your life. And then we'll do the offensive game plan on Friday, And then we'll get on a plane, we'll have a nice dinner together, and we'll get up. And whether it's Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. We don't know the schedule yet. And we'll start the first round against the Jets. And there's going to be a lot more meetings that go into that. There's line meetings, there's D meetings, pairing meetings, matchup meetings. And that'll all happen organically over the time. But there's a lot that goes into trying to beat another team in a series.
Well, we appreciate your time, Monty, and we know that you got to get to a lot of that, the game breakdown and everything like that. But again, congratulations. We appreciate you coming on. We'll talk back. We'll talk with you next week.
Gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate it again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Pleasure is all ours, Coach. All right, we got to get to the Gauntlet. We also have Anthony Becht coming up, not Carson Beck. Anthony Becht coming up at the bottom of the hour. But the Gauntlet is next on 101 ESPN.
For Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome back for a second straight day our guy Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Everything go okay last night, Ryan?
Oh, you know, had to cut ties with my friend. You know, I had to do it. Had to be done.
Ryan's friend decided to ruin the Blues' 12-game winning streak by doing something so asinine that Ryan had to take care of it, and he did.
What did he do?
What did the friend do?
Yeah, what the friend do?
Took his friend's favorite hat and wiped it his backside with it.
Well, that's the FCC appropriate where he wiped it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, Ryan.
Okay.
Good job. That's all I can say.
Dealt with that, right?
Yeah. So you played Carey yesterday. Would you like Marsh, Jamie, or me today?
Oh, well, see, I think it's a toss-up between either, Marsh went to the game last night and may have had a few too many, so it may not be on his game. I did want to take on Jamie yesterday, and he bailed on me. So I'm gonna go after Jamie today. Although Jamie would have killed me yesterday on those hockey questions.
Oh, it was hockey?
It was hockey, yeah. All right, Jamie.
All right. Ryan, good luck,
Get to
buddy.
stepping.
Let's do it.
All right, Jamie is heading to the cone of silence right now. Ryan, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel. Give me random. Do not give me hockey.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. Let's see what we got.
You're not going to be happy.
It's hockey?
Yeah.
The wheel just...
It knows.
Man.
All right.
It knows these things.
I'm sorry, Ryan. Well, hey, let's see how you do. Never know. You're going to get 4 hockey questions like you did yesterday. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Ryan, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Question 1. How many Blues players played all 82 games this season?
Yeah, that's an options question.
2, 3, or 4?
Trying to think about who missed, who played all the games. Give me 4.
Final answer?
Question number 2. Name the only defenseman that played in all 82 games this season.
Okay. Only defenseman. So we know Parenko was out for a while. It wasn't Tucker. So Broberg was out, so I mean, I gotta say, I guess Justin Pollock.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 3. The last time the Blues played the Jets in the first round was in 2019. Who scored the first goal of that series for the St. Louis Blues?
Oh, God. Was that Bozak or Schwartzy, maybe? Options.
Options are David Perron, Tyler Bozak, or Vladimir Tarasenko.
I was thinking Bozak. I feel like Perron scored a lot in that. Let's go Bozak. Final answer.
Question 4, Ryan. Only one game in that 2019 series between the Blues and Jets went to overtime. Which game did the Jets take in St. Louis in overtime?
Okay. So they were the higher seed, so had to be, we beat them in 6. So it's 3, 4, or 6. And it wasn't 6. This is what has happened yesterday. I was down to 50-50s, and I kept missing my 50-50s. I think it was game 4. I think it's 4. Game 4.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let's bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence. Ryan, how you feel?
I mean, I thought I did really well yesterday, but I got 1 point, so
that's all you needed.
That's all you needed. Is right. Yep.
Well, to be fair, Carey, it was a defensive battle.
It was defensive struggle. Yeah. All right, Jamie is back from the Cone of Silence.
Yes.
Jamie, your category is hockey.
Oh, wow. Okay. Seriously?
Yes.
It is.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Let's do this hockey.
Yeah, pack a lunch.
Question 1.
Really?
How many Blues players played all 82 games this season?
Oh, I think it's 2. No, 3. You had Neighbors, Shen, Suter, Cairo, not Foxa. Options, please.
2, 3, or 4?
Okay, so we got Neighbors, Shen, for sure. Suter, for sure. I think maybe Jordan Cairo. So it's 2, 3, or 4?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go 4. Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the only defenseman that played in all 82 games this season.
Ryan Suter.
Final answer?
Yes, final answer.
Question number 3. The last time the Blues played the Jets in the first round was in 2019. Who scored the first goal of that series for the St. Louis Blues?
Oh, my God. The first goal of the series? Options.
Options are David Perron, Tyler Bozak, or Vladimir Tarasenko.
It wasn't Vladdy. I don't think it was Bozak. I'll go with David Perron. Final answer. Ugh.
Question 4.
Disgusted with myself.
Only one game in that 2019 series between the Blues and Jets went to overtime. Which game did the Jets take in St. Louis in overtime?
Okay. In St. Louis. Wow, this is jamming me up. Marshy knows this one for sure. This is the crap Marshy remembers. Like it's etched in his brain forever.
I knew number 3 too.
Oh yeah, I knew you would.
Options.
Game 3, Game 4, Game 5.
No, that didn't. I don't know why I took the options. That was dumb. That was a really dumb move, actually. Because I thought that's the only options I had. What an idiot. That Carson Becht thing's throwing me. Game 3, Game 4, Game 5. Wait a minute. It wouldn't have been Game 5 because that would have been back in Winnipeg. Obviously. I don't think it was Game 3. I think it was Game 4. Game 4, final answer, please.
All right. Let's go over these.
I felt rough.
Jamie versus Ryan. Round 2 of the Gauntlet. Only one game in that 2019 series between the Blues and Jets went to overtime. Which game did the Jets take in St. Louis in overtime? We just heard Jamie take the options. He went with Game 4. Ryan did not take the options and also said Game 4. Correct answer is
Game 4.
Ryan up 2-1 now on Jamie. How many Blues players played all 82 games this season? Jamie took the options. You went with 4. Ryan, without the options, also said 4.
Shut up.
Correct answer is?
It is 4.
It is 4. Wow. Ryan is now up 4-2.
Oh, no.
4-2 on Jamie.
This isn't good.
Is it 4 or 3?
Jamie took the options on question 1 and question 4. Jamie's got 2, and Ryan has 4. Ryan up 4-2 on Jamie. Marsh is questioning me.
I'm not feeling great right now.
Name the only defenseman that played in all 82 games this season. Jamie, without the option, said Ryan Suter. Ryan, without the options, said Justin Falk. Correct answer is?
Yeah, Ryan Suter.
Ryan Suter. We're all tied up. 4-4.
Woof.
Comes down to this. The last time the Blues played the Jets in the first round was in 2019. Who scored the first goal of that series for the Blues? Jamie took the options. He went David Perron. Ryan took the options. He went Tyler Bozak. If it's Bozak, Ryan knocks off Jamie, and he's going to be back tomorrow. If it's Perron, Jamie wins. If it's Vladimir Tarasenko, who was the other option, well, we're going to a walk-off. Ryan.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
It was David Perron. He got you 5-4.
Yep. I knew it. I knew I was down. I was losing by 1. I was like, I'm losing by 1 on that one.
Ryan, that was a heck of a
job, Ryan.
performance. Nice job, man.
Well
Thanks for
done,
listening.
man.
Thanks for playing, bud. Oh, you're cutting out a little. Oh, there we go. All right.
Man.
Ryan, we'll see you, buddy. Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
See you, man.
Yep.
All right, we're going to go to Anthony Becht next. Nice job, Jamie. Anthony Becht is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues have punched their ticket to the Stanley Cup playoffs. They will take on the Winnipeg Jets in round one. We talked earlier with Blues head coach Jim Montgomery. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We also talked with Brad Thompson after the Cardinals defeated the Houston Astros today and took 2 of 3. And coming up next, we're going to talk with head coach of your St. Louis Battlehawks, Anthony Becht. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Talking Battlehawks with the head coach. It's time for Anthony Becht's Call-In.
Presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home of the Battlehawks box.
With Super Bowl champion Carey Davis and former Blues defenseman Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by Battlehawks head coach Anthony Becht. Coach, how you doing today?
All's good, gentlemen. It's good to be on. Thank you.
No, it's our pleasure, Coach. Obviously, not what you wanted last week against the DC Defenders. When we talked to you last week, I know you felt good about going into that game. What did you tell your team following the first loss of the season?
Yeah, well, I think it's important. Obviously, they got to know the why, right? I mean, we have to hold everybody accountable, coaches, players, and I think the biggest thing is we fix it. This is not a eggshells organization. We're not going to walk around all week with our head down. We know we're a good team, but there really are specific things that happen in the game that we have to be better at. And quite frankly, regardless of what happened in the game, guys, we weathered a storm. It's a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. And we're in field goal range to tie this thing up. We have to be smarter in those moments and understand whatever happened to that point, I don't give two craps about. Like, in that moment, we got to be great so we can tie it up and put the pressure on DC, and we never were able to do that in the game.
Coach, I felt like you all were playing really well. As you said, you had an opportunity there to tie the game and potentially take the lead at some point. I felt like DC's hurry-up offense, their no-huddle offense, you all had a few penalties and too many men on the field. Was that a problem for you all, just like the first time you're facing that type of offense?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was more our offense not doing anything. I mean, we have 4 turnovers that gave up 15 points. I think we had 18 first down plays, Carey, and, all of them but one, they averaged about 1.6 yards a play. I mean, on first down, that's crazy. And I think with our third downs, we had about 12 of them that were over 10 yards. So if you're a play caller, okay, I don't care if you're Andy Reid or John Gruden, like, what do you got, like, to go third and 23, third and 20, third and 17? Like, you just don't have a lot of those things. So, we just didn't handle the muck around the line of scrimmage that the defense brought to us, and they didn't stop doing it because we didn't gash them. Usually when you get a little bit more, more bodies in the box, you got to find ways to gash them or they're going to keep doing it. So I give them credit for not stopping, and we just, again, we didn't execute properly. I think just defensively, they held the fort down. They were matching with interceptions and getting the ball back for us. I think the one disappointing thing is when we did throw that pick on offense, when we're in field goal range, they went and converted 3 third downs in a row to score and really put the game away. And I thought right there, that's where I thought the defense has to man up in that moment and help our offense out and be better.
Coach, you talk about the offense and some of the turnovers and things like that. At the quarterback position, that's been a big discussion, going into the season, because the first season that we're not seeing A.J. McCarron under center. What did you see from your quarterback in your last game?
Yeah, he didn't play very well. I mean, we had answers out there. We gave him a little bit more responsibility line of scrimmage. We have to clean some things up there. Right now, I mean, he's 2-1. AJ was 2-1 last year. So, for me, I want to see, a resiliency in our play. And I want to see it at the quarterback position. I want to see it at the line. I want to see it at the running back, receivers. this is an opportunistic opportunity for the players to show that they can bounce back and they can fix what they did wrong, and they understand that they controlled everything that happened in that game. And if they come back, have a great week of practice, and understand the plan better, understand it better, and have confidence. And listen, it's not going to be perfect every play, every drive, every quarter. You got to play ball, man. And in the fourth quarter, you got to be better than the other team. So this has always been a game against Arlington that plays out for 4 quarters. We'd only lost to them one time, since I've been coaching here, but they've always been close games. Coach Stoops does a good job. So I just think, for Manny, it's an opportunity to say, hey, I can rectify this. He was a man about the accountability about it, throughout the week. When we went through it, he understands his mistakes, and I'd like to see him, come out and play really well.
Anthony, you talked about the offensive line. That's where you all have hung your hat at the last couple of weeks, being able to run the ball. I felt like there were some things that potentially needed to be cleaned up in terms of pass protection, and that goes for the tight ends and the running backs as well. What did you see from that group and how they played on Sunday?
Yeah, no, it's got to be better. I felt like, usually I can tell in 10 snaps, the first 10 snaps of the game, Carey, how it's going to go. And I just felt like, DC's, front kind of brought it to us early in that football game. And we just really did not, settle in and just, wear them down. They kind of got to us. And I'm always about setting the tone. And for us, it starts with the trenches. We're not going to go to the championship if our offensive line doesn't lead this team. So, I expect them to play better this week. Like I said, we've been very resilient, knock on wood. We've never lost 2 in a row. And that's the plan, man. We got to play great, up it up, and get better. And, again, I'm excited about the opportunity to see these guys. It's the first time we've hit adversity, guys, and I've been kind of red flagging it for the last 2 weeks. Like, hey, it's coming, and we got to figure out how we're going to deal with it. And sometimes you don't know how you deal with it until you actually go through it and something happens, and then the next time you learn from it.
So, Coach, and we're talking to Coach Anthony Becht here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. You had mentioned that you guys haven't lost 2 games in a row. What do you attribute that to?
I just think we stay the course. We don't put a lot of pressure on guys because of, how we kind of go about our week and explain the wrongs. I think, for us as a staff, how are we going to go about this week to make sure that guys are held accountable for the mistakes that they made, but also understand how we can correct them. They also need the why. How can we get it corrected and help them get it corrected? So that's what we do, but we do believe in our process. We're not going to let one game derail us. We understand the bigger picture here. We want to win them all. We want to go 12-0, win a championship. But, hey, it's a bump in the road. And now, again, maybe we just needed to be humbled for a week and understand, hey, really good first 2 weeks. But, if you want to be a consistent winner and get to where you want to be and be a championship caliber team, you got to go through a few bumps and overcome them. And that's what I'm excited to see about this team, how we overcome it on Sunday, on ABC. Saturday, excuse me.
Coach, you got Arlington next, obviously, on your dance card. They've only given up 28 points total. They're 2-1, just like you guys. From an offensive standpoint, how are you guys going to penetrate through there?
Yeah, well, we got to run the ball. We got to have balance. They're are more of a very solid defensive front that doesn't bring a lot of, pressures. But, when you expose yourself the week before to a team that does that, that's not hard to bang on the table, to the other head coach and say, hey, coach, look, we can do this too. Let's put it on them. So we have to be prepared for everything. I just think we got to win on first and second down, guys. I just think we're a really good team when we're in manageable situations, and we need all 3 phases to play well. We're not good enough to just go out there and play great on offense and not defense, or on special teams and not offense and just defense. So, if we go out there and play collectively like we did in the first 2 games, we're really hard to stop. I mean, it's just the bottom line. So we got a really talented roster. But, again, this is more of the between-the-ears kind of week where how can you put things to rest, have a short-term memory, and just play better ball, play in and play out for 4 quarters this week.
Coach, before we let you go, how's your son Rocco doing? How's the off-season training for Rocco at Iowa State?
He's doing great, guys. Yeah, it's spring ball's wrapping up. I think they got another about 3 or 4 practices, and then they'll head into their off season, into the summer workouts and stuff like that. So, look, they're losing 2 key wide receivers to the NFL draft this year. Those guys will have to be replaced. They won't be identical replaces, but I think it's a great challenge. I think, he's expecting to have, a big year. He's working hard. And, again, I'm excited for his opportunity, and he's done a great job in his journey, and it's been fun to watch. So, listen, they're a well-coached team, and again, they've always been good year in, year out. And when you're in the Big 12, anybody's got a chance to win it.
Anthony, I want to get your opinion real quick. I know you're a football guy like I am, and your son is in college. Just give your thoughts real quick on the NIL and the transfer portal and all of those things taking place right now, and how crazy it is and what's going on in the NCAA.
It is crazy. I do believe it's something that was needed. Now, how it happens probably isn't the best plan, but we all know the NCAA didn't really, be proactive in these situations to kind of counter these types of things that were going to happen here the last couple of years. The most recent scenario, obviously, is the Nico situation. I have a hard time understanding, how a kid, leaves, a bucket of money on the table. He's starting at a place. And doesn't have something in writing that's there for him. If you leave now, we don't know the story. We don't know anything about it. It may not be about money. I mean, we always just make it about money because we're like, how do you walk away from $2.5 million? At the end of the day, maybe the kid just needs a change. Maybe he just, I've heard, people don't, he doesn't like the system there. It's not very NFL friendly. I agree with him if that's the case. It isn't a very NFL-friendly system. You're not going to go in that system and translate really quickly at the NFL. So, there could be a lot of factors, but, hopefully he has good guidance. I mean, you all hear these stories and his family or representation and all the different things swirling around. It's a difficult time, and I just hope it works out for him because it's crazy. You're right. It is a crazy time but I'll tell you, if you take advantage of it properly, man, you can really set yourself up for a long time and still enjoy the game and do great things in college.
Coach, last one I've got for you here, and it's back to your team, is when can Battlehawks fans expect Akeem Butler back?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm excited about this week. He's had a great week of practice. I just think you get through tomorrow's practice, and then we're going to, make that decision. I would say lean on the high side of, the big fella, getting on the field here really quick. So, again, he looks close to 100% these last 2 days of practice, and we need him, man. He's just a presence. Whether, like I said, he gets the ball or not, he's a problem. He's the reigning offensive player of the year in our league. And I know he's chomping at the bit to get back. So, again, we need him for the whole season. So, again, he's looked good so far. Fingers crossed, guys. If he's out there, he changes the dynamic for our offense for sure.
No doubt. Well, Coach, best of luck moving forward here. We'll talk to you again next week. And go get those Renegades on the road this Saturday.
Appreciate you guys. Go Battlehawks.
Thanks, Coach. That's Coach Anthony Becht here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Well, that's good. That's good news.
Call is the law.
Good call is the law.
That is good news. I asked a couple of questions regarding the offense because he brought it up. He wasn't happy with the way the execution was. You got a guy like Butler back in the lineup. It changes a few things.
I love how honest he was.
Oh, gosh. I didn't expect him to say that.
He flat out said, hey, Manny Wilkins, he's got to play better.
Well, when you watch, Marshy was at the game, I was at the game. There was one interception down there. I mean, it was anytime you're in the plus territory, so over the 50, going towards the end zone to put points on the board, you don't want to turn the ball over. There was an interception down the middle of the field where he's rolling out. You can just throw that ball away or tuck it and pick up the yardage, but you can't turn it over. And that was a bad interception. He threw a couple of bad interceptions, and you're right there in position to tie that game or win that game. You just can't turn the ball over. But I wanted to ask him, the offensive line, in my opinion, there was there was a lot of pressure. Like, DC only had 3 sacks, but if I'm watching that game and you're watching that game, there was so much pressure where he had to boot out and get out of the pocket. And again, I think that when that happens, quarterbacks that don't have a lot of experience or haven't faced a lot of that, they tend to keep their eyes on the rush and not down the field, and you're not prepared to throw the ball on time and when it needs to be thrown. So for me, I think if they clean that up, it obviously helps with the running game as well. You clean up the pass protection. There was a lot of play-action passes, long patterns that take time to get open downfield. Some of those things they clean up, they'll probably be better this week.
Coach was just talking about our guy Nico there with Tennessee and that whole situation. Well, Yahoo Sports is reporting that he's headed to UCLA, per Colin Cowherd. And he said his family claims it was not about the money with Tennessee, but the Vols offense.
Is he going to make $4 million?
It doesn't say.
I'd be intrigued to see.
Me too.
I don't think they'll tell us.
Either way, good on Tennessee. Like, hey.
Is it?
Is it? Like,
Yeah.
what?
You
but
get rid of your
we're
best
looking at-
player because
But we're
of
looking at
spite.
one thing, and we're looking at one side of the story.
Kid didn't show up for meetings.
It's a negotiation.
It's a no-show, right?
It's a negotiation.
So what if they were?
You could have been a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan
And fighting
Wolverine.
a line,
But
yeah.
Anthony, what if they promised him certain things and they didn't follow through?
And that's what Anthony's
They gave him
talking
$2
about.
million.
But what if they were supposed to give him more?
Yeah. Like, it's no real contract.
We're hearing one side of it.
I don't know, Jamie.
I know, but you're
don't
quick to
know.
jump to conclusions.
Yeah, because I've
I
got to
like
jump. Yeah, I've got to jump to conclusion. Matt's at home, and I practice all the time. I practice all the
Is
time.
that what you're doing?
Well,
Yeah,
it's working.
Thank you. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. The Blues, is the connection stronger when the roster is more homegrown? We saw a homegrown roster last night make the playoffs. Is the connection stronger between the fans and the roster that much better? And what does that tell us about the Cardinals? That's next on 101 ESPN.
If you love sports betting, you are going to absolutely love Circa Sports Illinois. Their new app is fantastic. It's super easy to find. Just visit their website or go to any app store for that matter. You download it. It's very, very, very user-friendly. And if they have any problems with it, they've got exceptional customer service where you get to talk to a real person. That's right. Not just some bot or a computerized machine. No, you get a real person to walk you through everything. But then once you get it all figured out, they're awesome. They've got the best odds out of any app that's out there. Just check it out. Match them up. Compare them against anybody. And better odds means bigger payouts. And that's what you want. The bigger the payout, the better it is for you. They've also got great lines on all their futures bets. They have the tight money line splits, the player props, the parlays. So many amazing things with the Circa Sports Illinois app. There's high betting limits, too. So if you want to get a little adventurous, have at it, man. And that was the whole vision of Derek Stevens, who owns Circa Las Vegas. He wanted everything from the casino in the palm of your hand, and they've done that. So please don't miss out on the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on all of the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
join this team and to have the guys that brought me in, it's been, like I said, I'm really lucky. Like the older guys, brought me in so well, and Schenner and Falker and everyone, honestly. There hasn't been one, misfit. And, I get to know the young guys with Devo being called up too, and Boldy and everyone here. It's really fun, honestly. Winning hockey games is really fun, and I'm special to be a part of it.
That was Jimmy Snuggerud, who scored his first goal last night at the NHL level. Nearly had two. Had a breakaway opportunity. And,
could have had three.
Yeah, really. No kidding. Jimmy Snuggerud has been fantastic for the Blues. With Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter, it's a fast lane on 101 at ESPN. I had this thought last night watching Jimmy Snuggerud and watching a lot of the Blues players that had big impacts last night. And not all of them, of course, because your captain came from elsewhere. Buchnevich, who scored the second goal last night, came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But a lot of the key players for the Blues are homegrown. Mm-hmm. Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, now Jimmy Snuggerud, Dalibor Dvorsky. We'll see him on a consistent basis. Zach Bolduc scored a goal last night. He could add two as well.
Yes.
Homegrown player. Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
Homegrown player.
Jake Neighbors.
Homegrown player. Colton Parayko. Is the connection stronger with the fan base? Is the connection for the fan base stronger with the team if it's homegrown? Because it's part of that. You're watching these young guys grow, and there's some frustration and there's some adversity. But then when they do make the playoffs, I feel like it's an even stronger connection to the team as opposed to we're trying to do this on the fly, bring in a whole bunch of free agents, maybe make a whole bunch of trades, and then the off season feels great. Like, oh, my team's really trying. But I don't know if the connection is as strong.
Yeah, so I think there's two ways of looking at it. One, I think you're right. There is a connection for fans that they've watched Robert Thomas come in. They've watched him develop and grow and mature and all that. Jordan Kyrou, the same thing. So all the players that you talked about, they've had the ability to watch the growth of the product. But, you also have to look at some of the other guys who are a huge part of this. Like you talked about Braden Shen. He comes from elsewhere, but look at the impact he's had on the franchise overall.
Absolutely.
You talk about guys like even Cam Fowler this year. Look at the impact he's had.
Broberg, Holloway.
Holloway, some younger guys. I think the key, just like any sports team, I shouldn't say that because football is much different than hockey. So let's say baseball and hockey, where you have these young prospects, you draft, develop, you build your foundation, and then you add pieces that can, accelerate the process.
Yeah.
And that's what the Blues have done here, is they've got a really good core of young players, which, by the way, is really exciting. And I'm just going to add in Holloway and Broberg because, they're still babies in this league. They've barely played 3 years in the NHL? But this year was Philip Broberg's first full season in the NHL. So if that tells you anything, I just look at the foundation they have of young players, and then when you add in someone like Braden Shen, who centered Jordan Kyrou, homegrown, and then a young player, Dylan Holloway, who's kind of finding his way here now because he didn't have the same role in Edmonton. Mm-hmm. He was a third line, chip and chase, get in the forecheck. Here in St. Louis, so he was relied upon to create offense. And so Braden Shen, you had that steady guy in the middle, and you flank him with Kyrou and Holloway. Great. Let's look at the third line. Steady guy in the middle, Oscar Sundqvist, who you did not draft and develop, you traded for. Mm-hmm. And then you add Bolduc, and then whomever's been on that other side. So Matthew Joseph, for the most part, who, again, you brought him in. That's an outside piece. But you've also had, the opportunity to play other guys in that spot as well. But to me, it's a good complement of players that you're bringing in for the young guys.
Definitely.
So I think the team that can solve the riddle, and I say that because when you're drafting players and developing players, you don't always draft and develop the right players, or they don't turn out to be what you thought they might be.
Sure.
And right now, the Blues have a really big selection of players that they seem to have hit on.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about superstars yet. But when you look at the top to the bottom of the lineup, and you get Thomas, Kyrou, Neighbors, Bolduc, Holloway, Snuggerud, Broberg, you got some really big pieces of the puzzle, and they're young.
Yeah.
So, again, it's a bit like a lottery when you go with the young guys, but I think a team that drafts and develops well and then surrounds that core with good veterans. And you hear Jimmy Snuggerud talk about the old guys, the older players, the veteran players that have welcomed him in, made him feel at home and comfortable. You think he can go out there and play comfortable if they're not nice to him?
He could, but it's difficult.
It's difficult because you're always looking over your shoulder. Who's bitching at you? Who's telling you to make a better play? Who's shaking their head at you?
Yeah.
That eats up at you, too. And all of a sudden, a young player like, I don't want the puck.
Right.
Here, take it.
As opposed to you be you.
Yeah. You be you. We got you.
Yeah.
And that's why you're seeing, and that's the environment that the Blues have been able to create here.
Splashback Dude says, Perunovic wasn't a strong connection. Fans ask for young players to play whether they're ready or not. The connection is stronger if they play well here. Absolutely. Yeah. Part of this discussion is obviously if they do well. Because if you got homegrown players that don't play well, there isn't a connection. I'm just saying in comparison, Dodgers fans like Carey, they're not going to give back the World Series. But it's kind of cheap when a lot of your guys are from the outside, or if the Phillies are an even better example. If they were to win, Phillies fans are going to be ecstatic. Like, you bought that puppy, as opposed to drafting, developing, doing it for the long haul. I think there's a better connection there. It tastes sweeter, Carey.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
No, does a championship taste wonderful no matter how you got it?
Yeah, just think Dodgers, Phillies championship. It's just it's bitter, it's ugly, it's unwanted.
We do get a text from Rambo, and I'm assuming this is Rambo from the documentary. But Rambo says time on the team matters. Braden Shen may not be homegrown, but he is ours. He's been here and earned it.
What kind of like that?
Other people have mentioned Matt Holliday. So I
Yeah.
think tenure is probably in the same breath as what you're talking about.
I wonder, too, if guys like Shen, and I'll throw O'Reilly in there, too, guys that did not have team success in previous spots. Like O'Reilly was in Buffalo, which is basically the equivalency of NHL hell, and he comes to St. Louis, and we embrace him, and he embraces the city. So if you come from the outside, if you haven't had previous success, and then boom, you have it here. I don't know. I just think it's sweeter.
But
plus, I just wanted to take a shot at the Dodgers.
That's the key right there.
I waited until Carey came back.
We got a text from the 314 says the connection is stronger. The connection is stronger when the team wins.
Guys, what I'm saying is, yes, it's already, we've established that they've won. Now, how's the connection? Can
you hear me now?
What comes first, though? The winning or the connection, right?
What I'm saying is, it takes a while sometimes for the homegrown players to develop. You follow along with their journey. There's adversity there, and then the qualifiers already they're winning. So like the Blues right now, they made the playoffs. They haven't won a championship, but they've won a playoff spot, right? They've earned a playoff spot. I think the connection might be stronger now as opposed to when you've got this, a bunch of different free agents and a bunch of different guys that have come from elsewhere. And I don't know. I just think the connection's stronger.
Yeah, and
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think the connection in this particular case, it's the winning, but I think it's the way they're winning. Like, this Blues team plays a very rugged brand of hockey.
Yeah.
Like, they're blocking shots. They're hitting nonstop. They're 5 guys into a scrum. And although we've said it 1,000 times before, and Jim Montgomery's said it as well, like the city of St. Louis, that's all they want. They want to see a group of players, whatever sport it is, that go out there, look like they give a crap about each other and about the team, and you're happy going to the rink or the ballpark every night because you know they're giving everything they've got.
Yeah.
Now, the wins are a product of playing that way, too.
In terms of connection and fans being engaged,
yeah,
I think winning is what matters. If the Cardinals had the Dodgers roster, Busch Stadium would be full. Like, it wouldn't be, oh, that team isn't homegrown, I'm not going to watch them. Anthony, you lie. You'd be there watching.
I'm not
You'd be a
saying I wouldn't
Shohei
watch.
fan.
I'm saying the connection
and when
is
they
stronger.
won it, nope. When they win a championship with all the players that they bought, you'd be celebrating. You'd be excited.
It's kind of like, Carey, if you're building your deck.
Yeah.
And you're
we know
building
that Carey
it.
had deck problems,
I
too.
know.
They did have deck problems. Yeah.
and you build the deck.
STL Building Design got me together.
And you put it together, right? You put it together yourself. You purchase all that lumber. You put that lumber together, right?
Mm-hmm. If I got the money to pay somebody to do it, I'm going to pay somebody to do it. It'll be done faster.
Jamie, it's kind of like when you build a deck, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you enjoy it with your sons, right? And your
No, I
daughters.
wouldn't. I'd probably just find somebody and pay them to do it right.
Be done with this. Enjoy the summertime. Be on your deck.
Yeah,
you're both.
And not having to work as long.
I'd rather be able to use my deck a lot.
Yeah.
And not worry about fighting with my son about putting it together.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey and Jamie believe in cheap experiences that you have to pay for. Big Disneyland fans. Why have fun at home when you could just pay for it elsewhere? You know?
There, finally.
It's interesting. You got your Dodger blue on today, too, I say. Bunch of Dodger fans over here.
Blue.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Marsh isn't going to chime in because we're way off clock and he's
so mad at
freaking
us.
out.
No, I'm taking it in, you know?
Why don't we do bet the board so we can get back on clock, all right? Is that fine with everybody?
Sure, Anthony.
Good. I hate you guys. Bet the board next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, getting old stinks. And a product of us men getting old is, at some point, and it's different for everybody, testosterone starts to plummet. But the worst part is we don't know it. We don't have, like the gas gauge tells us, no, we don't. Until we start feeling crappy, irritable. A lot of the symptoms you had, Anthony.
Just me, Jamie? Because I believe you took me down to Mentality.
Okay, fine. You got me. But when we got there, the crew over at Mentality did one heck of a job.
Yeah.
They sit down with you, and it's such a comfortable environment. You don't feel like, you shouldn't be there or, they're not stuffy.
It's not sterile.
No.
Yeah.
No. They're fun. They have a good time with you. But at the end of the day, they're there to help you. And once they draw your blood and do all the tests, they get to know exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I found out I was low in testosterone as well as some other vitamins. I said, what the? Yeah. I couldn't believe it. But now I can't believe how good I feel.
But you also mentioned, too, that you went down and you're like, hey, listen, I'm still feeling a little off. Well, let's check you out here. Let's redraw your blood. And they switched up your program. All of a sudden.
Ongoing.
Yeah, all of a sudden you felt great again. Same thing with me. Look, guys, if you're feeling low on energy, if you've got lack of motivation, you get in the gym, you're not seeing results, you don't want to be there. It's a grind. Everything becomes a grind. You might be low on testosterone. Those are some of the symptoms. Head down to Mentality, 2 different locations, Chesterfield and South County. If you want to visit them online, you could do so at mentalityhealth.com/radio. You can find more information there. But if you're a dad, you can't keep up with the kids, you got the work, and you're just feeling overwhelmed, go down to Mentality. If you want to be the best husband and spouse that you can be, great. Go down to Mentality. The program's fantastic. Your energy comes roaring back. You'll feel great in the gym. You feel great everywhere. It's Mentality. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 510. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Time to bet the board. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. Unfortunately, we all hit last night, right, Marsh?
Yeah, what do you mean, unfortunately?
I wanted you guys to lose.
At least you're honest. I didn't want you to win either.
Thank you. It's a competition.
Yeah.
All right, Marsh, so what's the latest standings?
All right, Anthony, unfortunately, you're leading with 9 points. Jamie's right behind you with 8, and Carey and I are tied at 7.
Okay.
You got 9?
Yes, I do. You like that?
Keeping track of these things.
Let's see here. Oh, let me go back to the well here with Carey's L.A. Dodgers. Why don't we go with the run line?
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
The guy that hates the Dodgers.
I hate him.
Doesn't matter. It's just business, Carey.
It's just
Thank you.
business.
That's it.
It's just.
Wait, never mind. Their run line's minus 2.5.
You weren't prepared for this, really?
No,
You should lose your turn.
He was just going to go.
Okay, go ahead.
No, like lose your turn for the day.
Oh, stop.
Let's play, guys. We should vote on it. What do you think?
Vote on it.
I'll take the over in the Giants-Phillies game. Over.
I like that.
8 runs. Oh, now you do.
Yeah, I do.
Now you're on board.
You were, yeah. I wasn't on board.
By the way.
When you're leading, it ain't fun, is it?
By the way.
When the rules are made to help you lose.
I'm being a hypocrite. So are you. A couple of days ago, I'm like, winning. Winning is the only thing that matters, guys. And you're like, no, it's actually how you win. It matters more if you have it. Carey.
When did I say that?
It depends on how you win. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
you
The
win
last
by-
segment, it's all about winning. All that matters is winning.
Winning, it doesn't matter if you win.
I'm watching
We're
you.
talking about two different things. That's
No,
apples
we're
and
not.
oranges.
We are not.
We're talking about a team of homegrown players that haven't played well. And if they won 2-0 or if they won 7-1, which one would you rather see? Now, if the Dodgers
The
are winning.
qualifier was that they won already.
Nope. This
That
is
they
this team.
are winning.
This is a different team.
Oh, my.
He's angry.
You gotta listen.
I kind of
He
with
didn't
him.
like. He didn't
I'm
like.
kind of with him.
You don't change on me.
He's flipping.
What the hell is wrong with you? We're together in this.
Totally flipping. Anyways, all right. Over Phillies Giants.
All right. Carolina Hurricanes, who sounds like they're barely trying tonight based on the lineup they're putting up there. Montreal Canadiens, who desperately need at least 1 point to clinch a playoff spot. They're going to need some goals. Lane Hudson, 1 power play point, plus 230 on that one for me, please.
Carey?
Give me the. I can't take that. Give me Mookie Betts, 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. Minus 140.
We get a text from the 217. Jamie, no! I'm his listener. Don't screw me like that.
Yeah.
Like what?
He's your guy. Your horse here.
I'm
going to also do a Dodgers play tonight.
Look at you all.
I don't know what you were looking at, Anthony, but give me the Dodgers minus 1.5 at minus 148.
You can take them. They're losing. This Rocky seems ready to explode. I hope the Dodgers win by 1. All right.
You're such a jerk.
Yes, I am.
God.
Yes, I am. I'm myself.
I just said you were a jerk. I didn't say you were something different.
Yeah, but you said, you're just a jerk.
I didn't say you were being something you're not.
Still.
I was pretty honest about it.
You said it with your inflection. Where are we? All right. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. You all right, Marsh?
He got something tickled.
I was just laughing at the where are we?
Oh. All right. Carey thinks that the Cardinals should not go with a 6-man rotation.
What?
He said they should stick with what's working.
That was clearly before they.
Well, 6-man's working. They won today.
Exactly.
They did a fantastic job.
We're going to tell Carey that he's wrong for 10 minutes. Next on 101 ESPN. Anytime it used to rain in the Stalter household, I used to go down in the basement and be like, oh, that's not good. That's water coming into the basement. Not great. I tried to fix it multiple times because I try to be a proactive home owner, but I'll tell you what, I don't know what I'm doing. Thankfully, Mosby Building Arts does. We had an issue with some doors in our house, and it was causing some water damage in the basement. So it wasn't just about replacing the doors. It was about getting to the root of the problem. That's where Mosby comes in. We had a bunch of different companies come out, different bids and things like that, but Mosby Building Arts were the only ones that said, look, here's your actual issue. You got some patio steps that the water's actually getting behind them. So yes, the doors need to be replaced, but we got to do some work with these patio steps and in the basement too. Something I never would have thought of. Other companies didn't even think of that. Mosby Building Arts did. So when they came out, they detailed what they were going to do. The pricing was honest. I never had to worry about them coming out in day 3 and saying, well, this is going to cost you a little bit more than we thought, like other companies do. They won't do that. Designers with great taste, trustworthy construction team. They treat your home with respect, which I appreciate. I felt like they were treating my home like one of theirs, and that the job is going to get done right. That's Mosby Building Arts. That's the difference. Don't risk hiring the wrong team. Call Mosby at 314-909-1800 or visit callmosby.com. Schedule that free consultation today. Tell them Stalter sent you, and you can see the difference for yourself. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. The Cardinals' rotation has been sensational. Another great outing today, in fact. Steven Matz went out there in his first start, and he pitched incredibly well as the Cardinals beat the Astros 4-1. How sensational have they been? Well, here's Brad Thompson, who joined us earlier following the victory today to talk about the pitching staff.
Yeah, and you know how this works. I don't care what the sport is, what the position is. These things tend to figure themselves out. But, your perfect scenario is that everybody pitches well and you have a really tough decision to make because you're not going to run a 6-man rotation throughout the rest of the year. So the hope is that in a couple of weeks, the Cardinals maybe have a tough decision. Maybe they got to send Matz back to the pen, or maybe it ends up being somebody else. But I like the idea of doing it now, of building in that rest, because, I mean, look around baseball the last couple of years. This is the time, this is the part of the season where a lot of guys end up getting hurt because they're ramping up their workloads a little bit early in the season and don't have that built-in rest. So the Cardinals are able to build in some of that. They've got some good options right now that are throwing the ball well. So I'm with you, man. I love the way that Steven threw the ball. I am very happy, though, especially what we've seen as of late out of Matthew Liberatore, that the Cardinals did take that, I don't even want to call it a chance, did make that decision to put him in the rotation at the beginning of the season and shift Matt. Because you got to find out about your young guys, and they found out some pretty good things about Matthew Liberatore.
All right, so obviously that wasn't the cut about the numbers that he provided, but basically the staff has got under a 2-something ERA over the last, I don't know, couple of weeks, 9 games, something like that. Yeah. So the numbers are all there now. Carey, you though don't like that they're going to a 6-man rotation.
Well, I don't.
You poo-pooed it.
No, I didn't necessarily dislike it. It just was a question because one thing about athletes, and Jamie, you know this, you do as well. We're creatures of habit. Hell, Marshy put a pair of clothes on his seat because he's a creature of habit.
Bless the couch.
It's sacred.
Literally
couch.
Bless the couch.
We are creatures of habit. So when you start to change those things, it just made me think if it's going as well as it has been, and it has been going really well, giving those pitchers an extra day off, is that going to mess up their game plan and how they've been going about their business? Is it that big of a deal? Maybe, maybe not. But I would think, like, sometimes when, and I've said this time and time again, when you gather new information, like, you go into this with the thought, okay, on this date, we're going to go to a 6-man rotation because I think that that's what we need. Mm-hmm. But when you look at how well you've been pitching, and I think BT said they were like a 1.83 ERA in the last 9 games. When you look at that and you say, well, crap, we've been on a heater. Maybe I shouldn't shift or change anything because I don't want to mess up with these guys' days. I don't want to give them an extra day off where they can have, something else can go wrong. I would have wanted to keep it the way that it was. So we'll see. I just thought that sometimes messing up with your mojo and how you prepare, you go about your preparation, if you shift it or change it a little bit, it could throw you off to a degree.
Yeah, so for every action, there's a reaction in all aspects of life and in sports. So you go to a 6-man rotation, which means you're depleting your bullpen. Correct?
Yes.
Because you only have so many pitchers on the roster.
Yes.
I didn't know if I had to break that one down for you or not.
You have to break everything down for me,
You're staring
Jamie. You
through
know
my
that.
soul, so I was like, oh boy, get the dry erase board out.
I hit my head a lot.
This is a good point. So the bullpen early in the season was not great. And I just worry that if there's a couple of these outings, like right now, everything's fine. It's the rainbows and unicorns because your starters are, they're putting in good innings. And you're not having to go to the bullpen too early. But what happens when you have a couple of not so great days and your bullpen is taxed early and now you're deep into your bullpen for a couple of days in a row and you're still in this 6-man rotation? Like, what happens then?
Oh, you mean because you threw off the rotation and you messed things up in people's mojo and now you got to go to the bullpen?
Maybe. Whatever it is.
Maybe you make them wear it. And I know that's not I know that's not like the most popular answer, but if you're down 5-6-0 in the first 4th innings,
runs.
like, hey dude, you're wearing it today. Sorry. You're gonna throw 90, 95 pitches.
Because always had a problem with the bullpen for a couple of years. Like every year seems like it hits a spot where it starts to get burnt out a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you go to a 6-man rotation, I feel like that burnout might come quicker.
No, you're right. You're right. That is part of the. Carey mentions getting guys off, schedule a little bit. But like you said with the bullpen, if you don't have that extra arm, the other issue, of course, on that note, is if you get into extra innings. Because you can run a situation where you're deep in games. But Brad also had mentioned in that audio clip that we played that they probably won't stick with this for very long. It's just something they're trying out now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know that
it feels like they're winging it.
Well, that was my point. Is everything has been going well. Like, you went into the season with this mindset, and I'm not a person that thinks, okay, I thought this 2 weeks ago, I'm going to do this in 2 weeks. But if something changes during that time frame, I reserve the right to say, yeah, I thought that 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to do it now. That doesn't feel like the best idea. And I think sometimes coaches and people get so caught up in, this is what I said I was going to do, I have to do that now, where if it works, no harm, no foul. But if you throw it off, and again, we're talking about one day, the players and the pitcher shouldn't be, have a mental breakdown about one day. I agree, especially when they thought it was coming or knew it was coming. But I just wonder if it doesn't go well and you look at it like, well, maybe we should have stuck with what we were doing because that was working really well at that time.
Yeah, sure. I get it. The Cardinals, again, they win today and take the series against the Houston Astros. They are now 9-9 on the season. We had mentioned coming in that Steven Matz pitched very well. He looked good. He looked strong. 5 innings, 2 hits allowed, 1 run. It was earned, 0 walks, and he had 5 Ks. And, Jamie, you had mentioned in the office when we were watching the game that at one point he had set down, 18 straight or something
15.
like that? 15 straight?
Yeah.
The bullpen did its job. Ryan Fernandez came in his inning of work. He did not allow a run, gave up 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Kyle Leahy, basically the same line. In fact, it's the exact same line. 1 inning of work, 1 hit allowed, 1 strikeout. Maton came in, struck a batter out in his 1 inning, and then Ryan Helsley picked up his 3rd save of the season. A couple of guys stay right out. Lars Nootbaar hit a monstrous home run, dead center. 3-run shot to give the Cardinals the lead in the bottom of the 5th. It was a lead that they would not give up. Contreras still struggling. He's hitting 145. He had 2 strikeouts in his 4 at-bats, but Brendan Donovan continues to be on a tear. He's up to 380 and had 1 hit in his 3 at-bats. Another guy that's red hot is Thomas Jacey. 2 for 4 today, runs scored, RBI. He's hitting 455.
Play him every day.
That's going to be tough.
Go get it. Basically. Yeah. No, he's been good. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I got a message on, I think it was Facebook, it was one of the social media sites that is from a listener. And we were talking the other day about fan attendance, what it's going to take to get them back in, this, that, and the other thing. And this listener brought up something that I really hadn't thought about. I'm going to ask you two about it. That's next on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, and our guy Stewie is most likely, Jamie, helping out one of his clients. I love the fact that when you become one of his clients, he watches the rates for you. So let's say you purchase home like you just did fairly recently, right? Within the last 6 months. He's going to watch the rates for you. And if there is a spot where he can lock in a better rate for you, he's going to call you to say, hey, now's the time to refi. He's not like some of these other companies, these bigger companies that just kind of forget about you once they get your money initially. Stewie is constantly working to save you money.
Yeah, he is. Saving you money and also developing programs or certain strategies to make sure that you qualify for your loan and that you're in the best situation financially. He's not going to handcuff you in a terrible deal to where a year from now it's not working and you're upset with everything. No, Stewie holds your hand through the whole process. And the best part is he gives out his cell number, his personal cell phone number. So when you call, you actually get the owner of the company. That number is easy, too. It's 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
Give a call, give him a text. Tell him that Jamie and Anthony sent you in. Tell him you're a 101 ESPN listener. He loves hearing that. Loves helping our listeners out, Anthony. You know that.
Yes, he does.
But if you can't remember that number, what can you do?
You can always Google the Bagel Loan.
NMLS number 226715.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues clinch a playoff spot with a 6-1 victory over the Utah Hockey Club last night. They will take on the Winnipeg Jets in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We talked earlier today with Blues head coach Jim Montgomery. If you missed that interview or any of our interviews from today, which include Brad Thompson and head coach of the Battlehawks, Anthony Becht, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find those interviews and all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Cardinals pick up a 4-1 victory over the Houston Astros and take 2 of 3. And they'll take on the New York Mets in New York. 6:10 first pitch tomorrow. Anthony got a interesting message on, I believe, Facebook. Facebook is the Facebook, as it was used to be named. Anyways, we're going to talk about that next, right here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
ESPN. I don't always check the old Facebook, but when I do, I love getting messages from people that listen to the show. So, it's my guy Phil here. Phil's a loyal listener. Don't really know Phil that well outside of being just, Facebook friends.
So you're friends with Phil?
I'm friends with Phil. I feel
people
like
can message you even though they're not your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. He's a good guy.
Okay.
I actually don't know, but I'm assuming he's a good guy. Marsh probably beat him in the Gauntlet. All right. So we're going back a couple of days ago because he only beats good guys in the Gauntlet.
I know. Just random that you brought that up like that.
Okay.
It's good.
Can I finish?
No, Phil's your buddy. Let's go.
Thank you.
Anthony,
Thanks, Marsh.
We'll
a couple days ago, we were having the conversation about the attendance, the Cardinals, what could drive fans back to the ballpark and all that. So Phil said, yeah, winning will bring back Cardinals fans, but we were known for being win or lose diehard fill the stadium fans. What happened? They disappeared from our homes. We no longer felt that so very important connection. When I finally catch a game, it's like, who's Zach pitching? Who's that guy coming to the plate? We've lost our best friend, the game on TV. It's an angle that I really hadn't thought about before. I know that we've gotten questions in the Sports Six Pack before about the TV where you can find games and things like that.
Yeah.
But do you think there at all there's that lost connection because of the games not being, readily available in the home? You kind of got to seek it out. Maybe some people don't want to buy, whatever subscription it may be.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a little bit of that's also going on?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, obviously for Phil it is, but...
Yeah, but so Phil obviously has the internet because he's on the Facebook.
He's on the old Facebook.
And he messaged you. There's a lot of things that are available on the internet, including highlights, scores, stats, articles.
But if you just read an article or if you just watch the highlights, you don't have that same pull as you do if you're watching a full game.
But where I was headed is that if he's on the internet and doing all these other things, he probably could find a streaming service. And I guess it goes back to paying for it. I don't know. I just don't see it going back to the former model. Like, even though the Blues this year, we had some shows on Channel 4 and they went very well and we had a lot of fun with it. We got to do some different things, whatnot. But you got to follow the money. And the money with these TV deals or streaming deals is they pay you to use their app. They pay you to be on their channel. Channel 4, and they're not paying you. You got to sell your advertising and do things like that. And I don't think we're going to go backwards when the rest of the world is going forwards with all this stuff. I don't have an answer for that. because I just don't know. I can't predict where it's going. I have no idea. And I'm even in the business. I have no idea where it's going from week to week or month to month or certainly year to year. But, yeah, I mean, I can see how there can be a disconnection because I can't be a hypocrite. What's my biggest complaint sometimes about City SC?
You can't find the games. Well, you know where the games are, but
it's not convenient.
Yeah, it's not convenient.
Like, I probably watch a lot more of it if I'm in the kitchen, cooking, doing whatever, and I just fire it on channel, whatever, and it's on.
Yeah.
And I get to know some of the players, get to see some of the things.
So there you go.
You're right. And I have access to the internet, and we follow them on Twitter and all these other things. And
it's not convenient.
It's not convenient. It's not quite the same. So, I mean, I guess Phil has a point.
Yeah.
It is. It's out of convenience. And if you are, I mean, to your point also, Jamie, times change, and this is the way of the world. Like, we are in a position now where you're not going to, it used to be a time where you could watch boxing on regular TV. Now it's pay-per-view. You're going to have to shell out $70, $80 to watch a good fight, and that's just how it goes. People get greedy, people get paid, and now you have to go that way in order to be able to watch your favorite sporting events. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, it was a couple of years ago that Mizzou had a game on pay-per-view, a football game. Right, like it happens. It's the way of the world, and you can be frustrated and say, "Well, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to watch it." But then you really can't complain that you don't know what's going on or what's happening, because the majority of us, and this is what these companies know, the majority of us are going to watch it. Netflix raises my damn premium, seem like every year. I ain't gonna get rid of it. They go from $16.99. Oh, we're going to charge you $17.99 this year. Okay. Like
you're watching it.
Because I'm watching it.
Yeah, Netflix the product is good. So, might not be for everybody, but it's good right now.
So they know. Some people might get rid of it, but some people are like, well, whatever. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. So it's just the way of the world now, and it has replaced regular TV where you and I, Anthony and Jamie, we were the remote. You had to get up and go change the channel your damn self.
Yeah.
Is it not stopped?
Yeah. Well, it was easier. There's 4 channels in my house.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. We just talked about that recently.
So it has shifted and it has changed, and if you want to watch sports, you're going to have to pay for it more times than not.
I think it's case by case. Like you talk about, it's inconvenient to watch a City game, right? That could be the case, or it could be like you might not care enough.
Correct.
Right? So, like,
but how do you develop care?
Well, I think you need to split who you're talking to.
That's why I say it's case by case.
You're right. So, Jamie, it's inconvenient.
No,
go ahead.
100%. But no, that's part of the point, though.
Not you, though.
It is.
For Jamie, it's inconvenient, right? He sees it as an inconvenience.
Well, because I don't know the team. I don't know the players really well.
For a soccer fan, they're like, it's not that inconvenient. I just click on Apple TV, click a button, and all of a sudden you're subscribed to MLS Plus.
Right. Or whatever. They're already a soccer fan.
Well,
for the casual fan.
But that's because they care, right? Like
they care to watch.
But how do you get me to care then?
If I've never been engaged into it.
I think that's the whole thing. With any company in life, it's new customers.
100%.
And if I can't get new customers, then my product becomes something that's on an island, kind of like MLS is in certain areas.
100%. With this conversation, we're talking about the Cardinals, right? And Phil says he doesn't know some of the players, or like, I don't want to say that Phil doesn't care about the Cardinals, but maybe somebody else cares more because, they know the players, they watch the games. Like, there's a certain level of care that you have to have, along with the convenience of what you're trying to watch.
Sure.
Because other people are doing it. So is it that inconvenient, or is it you don't care enough to pay for it?
It is an inconvenience.
There's a lot of truth to that.
It is an inconvenience because I have Apple TV, and then I got all the apps on there. If I want to watch the NBA, I got the NBA app. If I want to watch the NFL, I got but I can't. If I want to watch a game on Spectrum, I got to go into that app. So I can't change over and quickly go to the other game that I'm watching the Blues and I'm watching the Warriors, and the Warriors aren't on regular TV.
Quick road.
You can't split screen it, right? If it's two separate.
Correct.
And so that is inconvenient.
That is
for
very inconvenient. But you deal with it, right?
Yeah.
You watch one until it goes on commercial, and then you hope the other one isn't on commercial so you can see some of that game.
I think it's a little bit of a mixture of both. It just depends on how much you care.
Sure.
About the product that
I think there's a lot of truth to that. I do. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. We will come back. What's that?
Way to go, Phil.
Yeah, that was a good segment for Phil.
Yeah.
You know?
Well done.
Yes. There we go.
Carey Davis.
We'll wrap up the show next. The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
If you're thinking about remodeling your kitchen, your bathroom, or maybe you got that outdoor space that you want to turn into that summer wonderland with a nice outdoor kitchen, countertops, all that stuff, please visit my friends at E&B Granite. They're the best in the business by far. They've got an unbelievable selection. You walk in there, they've got all sorts of different types of countertops, great cabinets, all sorts of different price ranges for the cabinets, flooring, different colors, different patterns. Anything you're thinking of, E&B Granite has it. And here's the best way to do it. Go down to 6135 Manchester Avenue, walk in, talk to the in-house design staff. And if you already have an idea, they're going to walk you through the process. But if you don't, or you're looking for suggestions, that's where they really are rock stars. They do a great job of checking all the boxes for you so that you're completely satisfied with what you pick out. And then the technicians get in there and they do amazing work. I never doubted them for 1 second. And the end product in my kitchen was fantastic. I absolutely loved it, and you will too. So please set up an appointment. That always helps. And when you do call them, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number's 314-645-9300. 314-645-9300. Or you can always check them out online at enbgranite.com.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts on 101 ESPN brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today, starting with our guy, Carey Davis.
Yeah, Anthony, you said I contradicted myself, and I learned that you're a walking contradiction.
I called you a hypocrite, first of all.
Contradiction, hypocrite. Yeah,
I was pretty clear with it.
Yeah. I think either one. But, you're a hypocrite as well, Ben.
Yes, I
Every
am.
day, we do bet the board. And every day, you pick the Dodgers. And you say you do that because they're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the Dodgers paid all their players why? So that they could win.
Right.
And you hate that about them. But yet you choose them every day. Feels a bit odd that you would choose a team that you hate so much for just winning when all you want to do in bet the board is just win.
What I learned is that Carey still doesn't listen to my point about that. I play Major League Baseball, not the Dodgers.
You hate the Dodgers. And you know it.
What I learned about you is that you only care about your narrative.
You're welcome.
Since we're all helping each other out here.
Just going down a dark path. Wow.
Jamie, what?
What? Oh, sorry. My
Come
God.
on, man.
Seriously,
guys, you know what?
Seriously?
It's going down
the dark horse last week. It's a dark path today. Seriously, Jamie? God.
Listen,
Where's the flight to Winnipeg?
What's the flight?
What's the flight up there?
It's too cold. Way too cold.
Oh, my God. All right. Jamie, what'd you learn today?
Oh, wow. I learned a lot about myself today. I learned that, brain damage is real. Called Anthony Becht, Carson Becht. And I referred to Yellowstone as Tombstone.
That was off air, by the way.
You're just in the bathroom.
And I can't seem to get away from a dark place. I'm going to see myself to the corner.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Jeez. What did I learn today?
Yeah, what'd you learn today?
I learned, well, actually, this was last night. I'm going to bring this into today, but I had someone, buddy of mine, bring up the fact that I wanted the Blues to lose so I could be right, and it sounded like this person believes everything that you say, even though you're being truthful at all.
That's the best when you hear that stuff.
You wanted the Blues to lose? No!
Anthony Stalter said you did.
And Anthony did exactly what he was hoping to do.
Yep.
Oh, man. You're going to get Marshy punched in the mouth or something.
Well, hold on. If these people were his real friend, they'd know that he would never want that.
Of course.
True.
Yeah, but it's a stranger.
No, this was a buddy.
The Blues lost last night, and they recognize Marshy. You wanted us to lose. There he is, guys. Get him.
I think it's Steve Bartman.
Like when I text in, great, Thomas is hurt, question mark? All because you had to be in attendance, Marsh. Hope you enjoyed the game.
I did laugh. I was mid-game. If you listen carefully,
yes,
you can hear audio where I kind of giggle during the game. I'm sure John Kelly's like, what the hell's going on?
I look at my phone, there is a play going on, and I see Jamie Rivers' reaction. Ha ha. I go, the game's going on right now.
His phone's right there. It's fine.
I'm a pro.
He is a pro.
Thanks, Anthony.
Oh, boy.
Hey, listen. I am who I am.
Wait, Jordan Deacon's in the house. Jordan, what did you learn today?
Oh, yeah. Jordan is shadowing this train wreck.
I'm learning a lot about the behind the scenes, behind the curtain.
Oh, no.
I've laughed a lot today, so.
There you go.
Yep.
Nice.
That's all that matters.
Remember to sign that waiver.
It's too late now.
Are you horrified at all, Jordan?
No. I'm so excited to be back.
All right, good.
Yep.
Awesome.
Jordan is shadowing Marshy in this show. And apparently we just keep doing our thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to make it authentic,
to
right?
change.
No, she doesn't. She would not respect us if we started to change.
She may not respect us anyways, but that's fine.
That was a leap.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
were making an assumption.
Yeah, I was.
Seriously, Anthony.
I was jumping to conclusions again.
Off your jump to the conclusion.
Put that mad away, would you?
Without that mad, who am I?
I don't have an opinion without that.
All right, Marsh, go ahead.
We actually have some compliments today, gentlemen, from the 636.
We didn't do our job.
The silliness of the fast lane makes the show absolutely amazing. Thanks, guys, for all you do.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that.
I do love that our listeners, at least some of them, enjoy us having fun too. Because we're having fun here. We get after each other, but we have fun. It's nice that people like that.
Yeah. We have one from Major Stronzo. I hate to be serious on the text line. It's just for chirping. Everybody except Steelers Super Bowl champion CD, of course. But I just want to express appreciation for Jamie, both on the broadcast and on the radio. Jamie, when you talk about hockey, I feel like I learn something every time. I think you make an amazing head coach. Bring Cameron on with you. He watched so many hockey games from the box, he gained some perspective.
All right.
That's excellent. Wow, that was very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Although we have a really good head coach right now. I think we're going to keep him for a while.
I don't think they meant for the Blues.
Wow, Carey.
Yeah, you were head coach of the Chill.
I was.
St. Charles Chill.
NGM.
NGM.
You know what?
Traded a player.
You know, he also acquired a player, too, from a gas station.
He did. Played him for one game and sent him back to the gas station.
Yeah, he knew.
That's your gear.
You know, we always talk about finding talent and know what you have in your system. Sometimes it's right there on the streat.
I saw a hockey bag in the back of a pickup
Yeah.
truck and a guy that was like 6'4". And I was like, all right, let's see what he's got.
Couldn't skate?
He's fine. He's supposed to be a tough guy, and it wasn't very tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
The 314 says, I learned you are all nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't have learned that. Well, it must be a new listener.
Yeah, we appreciate it. You listen long enough, you'll know that
see
right
it.
off the
You'll
rip.
feel it.
Yeah.
The 636 says, hope you have a great night, guys. I've had a great day. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And the Blues won last night, and the Cardinals won today, and I got to listen to all of you for a while.
Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you
Happy
very
birthday.
much.
By the way, Droid FX says that Jordan's stories on the Instacart, the
Yes.
Instagram, are excellent, are great, he said.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and they are.
Thank you.
All righty.
3 stars, Anthony?
Yes, sir.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 stars
You know what
of
time
the
it is.
day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right. Our 3rd star of the day is going to go out to Deck Issues.
Deck issues, yes.
Yeah,
Solve
get
those.
that deck built, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't do it yourself.
Yep.
2nd star goes to the Jumping to Conclusions man.
No, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep,
We're
got
on
it
that
right
thing
over
every
here.
damn day.
Yep.
And the consensus 1st star of the day, of course, goes out to former Georgia quarterback, not the head coach of the Battlehawks, Carson Becht.
Carson Beck.
Carson back.
Like Becker.
I'm going to ask Carson when we get him on later. Who's Carson? Carson Beck.
I doubled down, too. Head coach of the Battlehawks. He was like, what?
Oh, wait, no, that's his son. No, Rocco Beck is his son.
I was really worried that you'd bounce back.
And say Carson Beck.
Because of him.
That's
Oh, man.
honestly, we've done that before.
I know.
All right, everybody, appreciate you listening throughout the course of the show today. We thank you for not only listening, but also putting up with us. We got some playing games here, don't we?
Oh, I can't wait.
James
Be glued to the TV.
Jamie's going to be listening on his ride home to
Have I
the Bulls Heat pregame,
Yeah.
which is coming up in about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo.
Oh, yeah, those guys are my favorites.
Who you got? I got Miami.
I am Miami as well.
Yeah.
Me too.
You don't
Do you believe that?
No.
He doesn't.
Okay.
I don't even know.
I know the coach.
Eric Sproulstra. All right. For Andrew Marsh, for Jamie Rivers, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. We will see you.